It's good like this, right?
Yeah, you gotta put it on. The wind ain't blowing that much.
I know it.
Brotherhood of Hebrews chapter 12. Right, Shalom. With the GMS Virginia camp back out here once again. Do what we've been called to do, and that's prophesy. Before we get started, like always, we want to give all praise and glory.
Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Kakadash.
Give honor to our teachers, the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. We almost home. Keep pushing. Keep having faith. Keep enduring. Keep striving to overcome. Yeah, man. We're just going to go in the spirit and touch on why we had to go through this captivity and all the captivities we had to go through, the purpose of the captivities we had to go through. Because, people are questioning, why would God allow the things that he allowed on earth, And then, a lot of our people question, matter of fact, brother found me that, if we paraphrase it, how does it go? Lord loved us while we, forgot actually. Let's start off with it, 2nd Edges, chapter 7. You can get out, y'all.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 7 and verse 1. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the night before. And he said unto me, Esdras, hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, speak, my power. Then he said unto me, the sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad?
So, when you read about the Lord's chosen people, the sons of Yashar'Allah, right? We always say Israel because we're speaking in English. That's the term for people to understand. But when you go into that word Yashar'Allah, it means a prince of the power, actually sons of the Most High, the creator of all creation. Because a lot of you got these Christians out here, they talk about Israel. You don't even know what that means. These are the sons of the Most High. All right, the children of the creator, true royalty, gods on earth, like our Lord said. And now he said it. Is it not written in your law that ye are gods? Right? So what marvel when I say I'm a God? What marvel when I say I'm the son of the Most High? Because we are. But right now we're going through a chastisement for disobeying our Father. Which shows you that these are other nations. They can't be the chosen. Because they're not being chastised like we're being chastised, and they haven't been chastised like we've been chastised up to this point. It's all good and dandy for society to be how it is right now, where you can go in shops and get things that you desire and want and need. All right, you can go out to eat, you can go to amusement parks, you can go to see a movie, right? But our people have been destroyed and conquered. When you go back in the ancient times and you see how nations would take over other nations and conquer them, they will force their ideologies and customs upon them, all right? Or they will put them to death. Either you will accept my ways or you will be put to death. And that's what happened to our people. All right, it started with breaking down our minds, our spirits, right? Getting rid of the language that we spoke, getting rid of our Hebrew customs, right? And when they took everything that was from us, matter of fact, get into Jeremiah, we should discontinue from our heritage. When they took everything from us, right, they gave us their ways. They gave us they gave us their customs, which goes into being Hellenized, right? Which goes into us becoming like Gentiles. But that was part of our chastisement, But the Christians don't acknowledge that in the scriptures that the Lord's people will be getting chastised in the last days. They will still be going through their chastisement. Why? Because of the curses they know in Deuteronomy, which the Christian pastor does not break down. He does not go into why these curses are stated in Deuteronomy. For one, that whole Deuteronomy chapter 28, that is a contractual agreement. All right? Blessing and curses that would take hold or be put upon the nation of Israel. That is a contract. You break the contract, this is what's going to happen. You obey the contract, this is what's going to happen. And you've been seeing the results of breaking that contract play throughout the earth, right? For centuries now, man. Well, but the Christians don't go into that, but then they have the audacity to tell us who is and who are not the children of Israel. Right? You got that, Jeremiah?
Yeah, right here. This is Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. It says, "And thou even thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave you."
Yeah, this is not like the Black Panther movement. This is not like, you know, any Black Power movement that you've seen, Black Lives Matter, where we just come together and try to stand up for our civil rights that was given to us by Jim Crow laws. No. This is our heritage. This is what was taken from us, right? And now we're taking it back through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shah, through the grace and mercy of Yahweh Shemel Shah. We're taking it back. We're taking hold on our heritage, all right? That's why we constantly tell you we're not black. We're not a color. We have a nationality. The so-called white man has took nationality out of the education systems. He's taken nationality out of the earth. He's made everything black or white and gray in the middle, right? Everybody has a biblical nationality within the scriptures. Everybody on this earth has a biblical nationality. The Chinese have a biblical nationality. The Japanese have a biblical nationality. The East Indians have a biblical nationality. They live in the country that you call India, but that's not their nationality. They stay in the country that you call India, which we weren't calling it India during the ancient times, man. You know? What is the biblical nationality that the Most High put upon us? Why isn't that being taught if this is the law, if the Bible is the law of the land? If this is supposed to be a Christian country? Teach us our biblical nationality. Don't tell us we're just black. Don't tell us we're African American. Because that African American was created by Jesse Jackass, man.
Right.
And who propped him up to be the creator of a nationality for us? You know? Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. And it says, Jeremiah 17:4, "And thou even thyself shall thou discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee."
The Lord gave his chosen people a heritage. What is that? To be his sons, to be his chosen. Right? Now, if you're chosen out of something, that means some other the people that didn't get chosen, they're left out. If I got a selection of items and I choose, you know, the green ones, but I leave the red ones and the blue ones, the chosen ones are the red ones. The non-chosen ones are the green and the blues. Now I take the red ones and I speak to, I say, look, I want to go into a relationship with y'all. I'm going to adopt y'all going to be my sons. I'm going to cleanse y'all. I'm going to give y'all my righteous laws, give y'all my righteous ways. I'm going to teach y'all how to live on the earth in order. I'm going to teach you the orderly arrangement of how to conduct yourselves on this earth so that you're not just doing what you want to do. Because contrary to popular belief, if you're on this earth, you have to live under restrictions. You didn't create this earth. The Most High created it. All right? He gave the blueprint to Yahweh Shah and the rest of the heavenly hosts that helped him create it. All right? You didn't create it. You're a mere man. You're flesh. So you were put on this earth to live, but you have to live under the conditions under the man that created it. And since you don't want to live under his commands, that's why you see so much death happens on this earth. So much disease, so much war, so much chaos and confusion. And you're about to see more of it, more rampant at a higher rate as we come towards the end of the last days. But going back to the point I was saying, if I'm telling you the select group, like, look, I want you to inherit my ways, I want you to be my sons. But if you do this, you're gonna be blessed. You're gonna inherit this land here that's fruitful. I'm gonna make you immortal. I'm gonna make you rulers over the ones I didn't choose. Because that's part of the blessings too. They're gonna serve you. But if you disobey, I'm gonna make you serve them. Now fast forward to this time, you got the blues and the greens telling the reds, he chose us too. Where? Where's that written in the scriptures? You got a quick question?
I got a quick question. The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 5, I start at verse 24. "And of all the lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit, and of all the flowers thereof one lily,
Now, should the other flowers buck up and say, why are you going to choose the lily over us? That's not fair. Can the other flowers come in today's time and say, look, Lily, times have changed. The Most High changed his mind. I'm the sunflower, and the sunflower is now the Lord's favorite too, right? I'm the rose, right? I'm now the Lord's favorite. No, it don't work like that. He said he chose the lily.
That's right.
So today, what does that mean? The lily is favorite.
I am the Lord, I change not. I like that. I think you go into this.
That's word. Go ahead, brother.
And of all the depths of the sea, thou hast filled thee one river. And of all builded city, thou hast hallowed Zion unto thyself.
Now, can America, China, North Korea, Russia, can they say the Lord has chosen us now? We're accepted to be a precious land.
That's right.
Russia is a desolate land. That's not even a fruitful land, right? That land, that land where Israel dwells, right? The land of Canaan, that whole area of Mesopotamia, it's a very fruitful area, man. A lot of people desire that land not just because, you know, it belongs to the Israelites. That's an actual fruitful land, plentiful land, you know. But can other lands say, no, we're the chosen land? No. You see how it can cause confusion if we start playing that game? Go ahead, because if you're going to say you're chosen out, then we got to say everything's chosen of the Lord's favorites. If the Lord's mind is fickle like that, if he's just going to change his people. Here it is, he gave us these laws that we're now learning over again because we broke them. Y'all have never been under them. Y'all have never gave a fuck about the laws of the Most High. That's why all these pagan deities go back to y'all customs. That's why all these feast days and holidays, so-called holidays, right? And all these customs that you uphold go back to pagan deities. You look at Hollywood, it's filled with witchcraft, sorcery, demonic activity. You've never upheld the ways of the Most High, man. Go ahead.
And of all the fowls that are created, thou hast named thee one dove. And of all the cattle that are made, thou hast provided thee one sheep. And among all the multitudes of the people, thou hast gotten thee one people.
So wait a minute, that's a beautiful precept because the Lord is showing you this is my favorite, this is my favorite, this is my favorite. Now I'm gonna tell you my favorite out of the people. Look, man, my favorite, if I get a favorite ice cream, them demonic spirits. Yeah. If I get a favorite ice cream and I like cookie dough, I don't give a damn how old I get. I could be 80 years old shitting on myself. I like cookie dough. I want cookie dough ice cream.
That's right.
No, granddaddy. Shout out the Oreo ice cream. I like motherfucking cookie dough. Give me my goddamn cookie. Because you know, Jake, when they get older, they get stuck in their ways. You know, the older you get, the more you get set in your ways.
This is back at me. That's what the scripture says. What? You can't put not one but one body.
Yeah, they get, and that's a beautiful point. You get set in your ways. That's why when you talk to your grandparents, hey, we try to get our grandparents to get out their house that they've been living in for decades. They don't want it's trash. It ain't no good. They don't want to move. I like this house. Don't worry about what I like. I like this house. Now get your young ass up my field. You know? So who is us to tell the Most High his favorite people has changed now? Right? The Lord said, I like Israel. I like Yahshua. And it goes deep because it's different. It's way deeper than just the surface level of skin color. Because you can go throughout China and see people that you would perceive to be Chinese, but they actually are people. Why do we know that? Because he put the same spirit that's in them in us. That spirit of flavor, that cultural spirit. You know, we're attracted to the same things. You know, and you'll see them all on TikTok. I'll be watching them and all these different getting it. You know what I'm saying? Moving and grooving.
Rhythm, on beat, on time.
That's not in these other nations. So if you're going to be chosen, did the Most High put that spirit on you, that spirit of flavor and soul in you? Because it's in his chosen seed. Don't let us go down the list of how much contributions we give in this earth, whether it's in science, whether it's in music, whether it's in food, right? Anything you can think of, we've given the most contributions to. Why is that? Because we're the Lord's portion. Go ahead.
Come. And unto this people whom thou lovest, thou gavest a law that is approved of all.
See, he gave us laws, and that's what made us separate. Giving us these laws to know, okay, we know now we ain't supposed to eat pork.
Yeah.
We know now we ain't supposed to eat shrimp, crab, and lobster. Don't touch the alligator. Don't touch the squirrel. Don't touch the raccoon. But the other nations didn't get that, so they were still eating it. They would still catch the raccoon and the skunk and fry it up. You know, they didn't know no better. They wasn't given the laws. You know, so they were still, you know, indulged in those wicked practices. You know, they didn't know no better. You ain't gonna know if you're not given a way to go down. You know, the Lord offered us a different path. Matter of fact, a brother hold, and we're gonna hold that to kind of the end of Ezekiel, where it speaks about, I think it's like 26 chapter, where it speaks about how the Lord decked us out. We'll get to that later. Go ahead.
And now, O Yahweh, why hast thou given this one people over unto many, and upon one root hast thou prepared others? And why hast thou scattered thy only one people among many?
That's a valid question. Read that verse again, brother.
Come. The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5 and verse 28. And now, O Yahweh, why hast thou given this one people over unto many, and upon the one root hast thou prepared others?
Yeah, so that's a valid question. If we are the chosen, if we are the sons of God, why do we have to eat in the same restaurants as these people? Why do we have to sleep next door to these motherfuckers, work with these motherfuckers? Why did they foot on our necks for the Lord's? If we were chosen, and that goes into the chastisement of his sons. Get that Hebrews real quick.
Come.
And then we're going to get that one real quick.
The book of Hebrews, chapter...
I think it's around like verse 5 or 6, which speaks about the chastisement.
Come, I got it. The book of Hebrews, chapter 12 and verse 5. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children, my son. Despise not the chastening of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
And we was kind of going into that in the live sit down we did this week, how fathers chastise their sons. So that shows you who the Lord's chosen is, because he's been chastising our people, right? He's allowed demons to overcome our people too. Unclean spirits, spirits of perverseness, prideful spirits, lustful spirits, folly spirits, worried about the wrong things, man, that don't accompany salvation, that don't accompany living in an orderly way. Right? I was watching a show. Dude said, I don't. If I gotta eat bullshit to stay healthy, I don't want to do that. I'd rather live a happy life than a healthy one. I want to eat what I want to eat. That's faulty. That's stupid. Of course, it was a group that said it, but that's how they think, though. That's the thought process of these people in the world. I'd rather live what I want to do than live under confines and restrictions. You know,
It's crazy.
if pork tastes good to me, I want to eat it. I don't care if it's not healthy. But then you die at age 60, and you wonder what? Oh, he just died. His whole diet has been corrupt his whole life.
Yeah.
You don't put two and two together. You just think he died from a rat. And Esau's, his hospital said, we got to keep stressing this. They are not, these hospitals and these doctors are not created to tell you a solution. They're not telling you what's really wrong with you, right? Every sicknesses and all diseases start with your diet. That's the first thing they start with. From the time up, from when we're young, we're fed nothing but corrupt food, abominable foods. What the hell you think is happening to your vital organs as you mature and grow? And your organs get older as time goes on. All that fake sugar, right? All that grease, dirty ass grease you're putting in your body, right? Hot foods, fried foods, abominable shit, shrimp, crab, lobster, pork, whatever you name it, alligator, whatever. By the time you get up in age, of course you're gonna have all type of ailments. You've broken the Most High's holy dietary law your whole life. You think a sickness just came out of nowhere?
Yeah.
And the devil ain't gonna help you when he go for medicine. He gonna further it. He gonna give you some shit that breaks you down even more.
Right. And the closest thing to herbs that they've ever eaten is pepper.
Yeah, you know.
The doctor want that money. That's what they want.
Yep.
Usually their money. Back with their health insurance.
Yep. It's all the business, which is part of our chastisement. Because if we would have kept the first part of the covenant, we wouldn't have had to go to this motherfucker for medicinal help. We would have it amongst ourselves. We would know how to cure things amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
Hey, also just back you up. The scripture talks about, and Sirach talks about what? Honor a physician, man. You know, a man of value. It didn't say doctor, it said physician. You know, but what? It says what? The Lord created a physician for that reason. Before they create no doctor, they create a physician to help you, you know. For example, you know, like Dr. Sebi, you know, something like that. You know, but like I said, I'm talking about him, like security people, telling him about what to eat was, you know, what was not good to eat. You know what I mean? How you should, you know, balance your you know what I mean, your dietary laws, you know?
Yeah, because we're coming into a time where all these institutions and infrastructures that's been built up about to be shut down. It ain't gonna be no hospitals running. Ain't gonna be no CVS's running. So where's your medicine gonna come from? When everything's broken down before civilizations are built back up, all you have is the earth. Everything starts from the earth.
Yeah.
So where's your medicine come from? The earth, you idiot.
Yeah.
Not from a lab. If the lab shuts down, where's your medicine coming from? So that lets you know what the true medicine is. Because when you're going to see that once we get into a new age where another kingdom is being brought down, and you have to live off the earth again. And then that brings fear upon people because they haven't been taught how to live off the earth. You've been taught how to live under an institution that's been built up. Then you got the slaves that built it telling you that they're free. What the hell are you talking about? You're walking around up under the confines of a kingdom that you built up. But you didn't have the ideas of the institutions. It's not your school curriculum that they're teaching. They're teaching the school curriculum that they came up with, man.
Yeah.
That's why it's filled with whitewash history. False science. You know? Go ahead, brother.
Nor faint when thou art rebuked of him.
And that shows you who's in power. Because does it make sense to go to school and learn about another nation's history? How are you learning about presidents that had slaves? The founding fathers. That's madness. You've been conquered. That alone shows you what got there. What benefit does that have to you in your nation? Learning about Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, Benjamin Franklin flying a goddamn kite, which all these are just tall tales any goddamn way. You know, what benefit does that have to you and your people? Now, not nail one. But see, if we didn't break the contract, we would be under our own teachings. Right? The children would be under the house of their women, which that's a whole other thing that's totally broken up. Because now you have these women, they've been taught that they are equal to men and that if a man gets with another woman, they can get with another man. Then they go out and do that. Now they're confused and broken down because, you know, the whole love concept they thought was real ain't real. Right? Now that they gave their box to numerous men, and now they just left with confusion. But really, they were supposed to be taught, look, you were just meant to serve your man. You get with him, you serve him, you build up your house, you build up his legacy, you raise the children, you teach the children, teach them the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shema Shah. Yeah. Right? You don't go out and work in all these goddamn jobs, Esau and set up. You don't dress any way you want to dress. You dress modestly like the Lord said. Right? But here, he taught them wrong. He taught everybody wrong. But that shows you that's part of our chastisement too, because if we was under our kingdom, people would be taught right. Men will be taught at a very young age, son, you can't play Xbox, PlayStation from the time you're 10 to the time you're 40. All goddamn day, smoking a blunt, right? And just working because you got to. No, man, you're supposed to understand that this is what a man does. Right? From 11, 12 years old, he's understanding, okay, how to hunt, fish, how to build what he needs to build for him and his family. You know, if he ain't got the questions, he should be able to go ask his father. If his father ain't there, he should have some type of male example to run to the ass. You know, so he can lead his house forward. You know, and he's not working for the legacy of another man. He's not at Amazon furthering Jeff Bezos' dream. He's working to fulfill his desires on his portion of land that he got. he got his own little portion of cattle. You might not have a lot of money, but you might have one cow. Right?
Right.
You might have one horse.
Right, you built on that.
Yeah, you built upon that. You know, whatever trade you was in, whatever amount of land you got, you know, whatever fruit you can harvest up there, whatever vegetables you can harvest. Maybe your woman wanted to, you know, sell some fruits and vegetables off that land. You know, you build off of what you got, and you further in your legacy, so you can pass something down to your children, and they further it down even more. You know, one thing I noticed when I was watching the old Noah movie, it was such a big fuss about, and I'm glad they showed this dynamic with his children. How they were kind of like, yo, Father, what are you doing? You're abandoning the workload of the family. You know, we got to tend to the land of our family. We got to work this farm. We got to work the land. You know, you're working on this ark. Everything's going to go haywire without the head of the house working. You know, Noah's whole priority shifted from the house of the family to that ark.
Yeah.
You know, and they showed you in that movie how they was like, we're going to fall if we don't have the head here. You know, so eventually what did they do? They followed the head. And they start building their ark. And now this is what we're doing. This is what we're furthering. Leave the house behind, leave the land behind. That's going to be destroyed.
That's right. That's
The cattle finna be wiped away.
Yeah.
The farm finna be wiped away. This ark is going to withstand. So follow fathers and build this ark. You know, and even the wife, she was kind of disgruntled at times, but then she took a step back and she said, this man has led us through all these years. He never stood us the wrong way. What he's doing may seem crazy to us, but I'm going to put trust in my husband because this is the man I'm married, and he's always led us on the right path, so this got to be right. You ain't going to find women like that.
Nah, she gonna leave.
That's going to follow their man wherever they go. She gonna see what you're doing is crazy and be like, this man, he didn't abandon his job, he didn't abandon the house, he abandoned the kids. Because on surface level, it looks like you're just going crazy.
Right.
But if she really looks at you as her head and her salvation, she would say, I don't give a fuck, nothing, I'm following my head. I know, I maybe not understand it right now, but I'm gonna just follow because that's what I was created to do. We don't understand everything that the Most High and his son got laid out for us completely. We're going into Jacob's trouble. We don't know what the fuck we may encounter, but we're gonna follow our head because we know he never stood us wrong. When we was in the wilderness, we didn't know what the fuck was going on. Our next meal was coming. Hey, the Lord had water come out of a rock.
That's right.
Manna, look at manna.
Lord had manna
Man.
come from heaven.
Yeah.
That's right.
Why? Because what did I just say? The earth. Hey, when all you have is the earth, that's what you left with. You know?
Go ahead by the birds and all that
Exactly.
beautiful stuff.
Exactly. But see, he has taught our people that following is wrong. Women don't follow your husbands. You're equal. Children don't, now he's saying children don't follow your parents. You're equal. You know? And he sets up institutions and outlets for you to further that. Right? Oh, mom, if you don't let me do this, I'm gonna tell my school teacher. Right? Which really you're not supposed to have all these other adults teaching your kids no goddamn way. You got a PE teacher, a math teacher, a science teacher, all these goddamn people, all these other heathen nations teaching your child, raising your child. What are they telling your child? You're supposed to have your own nation in a righteous order teaching your children.
Nowadays, they got these teachers teaching your kids how to be a mother.
Yep. What they reading? The gay BCs? They got a book. Yep.
Alienation. Yeah, alienation.
Exactly, it's in the curriculum.
That's madness, man. That's madness.
Yeah, I read somewhere that they're teaching them masturbation classes now.
Word.
To certain kids, you know?
Word. And that's another thing, because you know, parents don't have that talk with their kids. As soon as your kids come around that age 12, you're supposed to tell them, break down sex 100% to them what it is, what's the purpose of it. Not just to be having sex, but what's the purpose of it. Then you go to the scriptures. The Lord put us on this earth to say, be fruitful and multiply. So son, when you get a woman, you become one flesh with that woman. You take her and you lead her. You give to her children because she's furthering your legacy, your lineage. They're part of your stock now. Not just you just running around popping your little wee-wee and everything. Why? Because he hasn't been taught what sex was and what's the purpose of it. So now your son got hormones in middle school, and he grabbing on every chick's ass. You know, I'm saying this from experience. You know, from what I was fucking doing. You just grabbing on the ass, you horny, you rubbing on coochies at the locker. And the young women, they let you do it at the locker because they curious too. They hormones going on too. So they like it and they trying to figure out what's this all about. Because they haven't been taught what's the purpose of what, because parents are like, I don't know.
They still a baby. You can't be telling about sex.
But meanwhile, it's all around me. When I take my backpack off, I can go on HBO adult at night and see sex. I can get on X videos on the computer and see sex.
Right.
So my parents ain't gonna teach me about it, but I can learn about it from fucking porn sites.
Yeah.
And now your mind has totally been misconstrued with what sex is about and what sex is there for.
Yeah.
Now you think you're supposed to be a random porn star. So now this man is grown up, he done fucking ran through all these different type of women, done flowered these women, and now they're fucked up because they lost their first, right? Because they had their first attachment to their first lover. They gravitated to that man, but their heart was crushed. And none of these women have been the same since then. They ain't gonna tell you, but they ain't been the same since that first man that crushed them. Because like the scripture say, your desire shall be towards your husband. That first man that entered into a woman, her whole desire was towards that man. She wanted to stalk that man, find out everything that man liked, right? As soon as he broke her heart, she became a harlot. And that's the story of a lot of these women. You know? I was watching another show. The girl, she was in a relationship with a dude, but they never were intimate. So his homeboy, which this is wicked, but it shows you how much of sexual contact, how important it is. He was scared to tell the girl, look, you know, I didn't make it into the college that I was supposed to go into, so he was ignoring her. So she thought he didn't want her no more. So she was crying on the footstep, and then the friend came and was like, look, you need to go and just leave. He's like, but I miss him, we never even kissed, we never even da-da-da. So the friend takes him, like, look, good, this is what it is. And he had, you know, intimate relations with her, which was wicked. But now it was in her mind, was her first, even though she loved this guy, the interaction of the sexual interaction with this other man was too heavy on her. So she had more of attraction to this guy. And they both were friends. Why? Because the scriptures tell you become one flesh. And I'll tell you, from having sex with women, you can feel when a woman, you can feel that energy. You can feel her like, you know, you feel dominant and you feel her in that submissive point. If she still got any goddamn, some decency left, you know, and you can feel that transfer energy in that moment.
Right.
You can feel it.
Right.
But we're not taught that in this society, man. You find out just through random sex, you know, acts. Not to get popped in the bathroom, the school bathroom.
Right.
You know, behind the bleachers at school or whatever. Some wild shit is going on, you know?
Yeah.
Things is out of this order.
Yeah.
Under this man's rulership. So there's many accusations we have against you. Because you're running this society totally off course. Every home is broken. It ain't even just our homes. All these homes are broken. You got heathens.
Yeah.
Heathen women ruling over their men now. That's how low society and the morale of people on this earth have fallen, man. No righteous morals at all. Do as thou wilt. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 6. For whom Yahweh loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth.
There we go. We was going into that. You want your son to walk in your ways. You can't spare the rod. Because if you spare the rod, he's not going to know not to touch that hot stove. You know, when he going to put his hand on that stove, then he going to remember, oh hell, I got my ass beat. That shit hurt. So I ain't going to touch this thing. You know? And even if you do touch it, you know, he going to do it to where he knows you can't see him do it. He going to tread lightly around you, you know? But you need that correction there. Which Esau don't allow that in the household. He don't allow you to beat your children how they supposed to be beaten. You know? Look what the Lord did to us as a nation. Completely whooped us, man, with the rod. And he used his sword to do it. And of course the devil took it too far. But what is the devil gonna do when he has you in his hands? We was wrestling with this dude in the womb. So the Lord basically said, here, have, what you think this nigga gonna do with us, man? Oh yeah, nigga. Yeah, we outside, man. What's all that tough shit, nigga? What's all that tough shit, Jacob? Oh, you done broke the covenant, huh? Come on, nigga. Put him up. And we try to put up a fight. We try to put up a fight. Gad over here was their guerrilla warfare, popping out the bushes, you know, fighting. But he was like, buddy, we got the power on our side.
That's right.
Came with the gun, pow, 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 pow.
Lesson.
You know, tried to fight, couldn't. That's what happens when you disobey your father. Now look at us today. Our women, they fucking through. They got pink wigs on, red wigs on, blonde wigs on, green wigs on. You know? Like the brother always say, the BBL shit, the fake bodies, you know, the GMO bodies. The men, you can hang it the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You got this nigga, what's his rapper name? The Baby. He thinks it's cool to have that image of the I knock niggas out. Till the Lord have his cap peeled back. Ain't nothing for the Lord to get your muffin top blown off, nigga. You ain't no different from any rap. Tupac was out here wild like that. Don't like nigga. Death Row. Regardless though, he was out doing that shit. He was really outside spitting on niggas. That shit was really happening.
Right.
Yeah, nigga, throw it away. Death Row, nigga. Right?
Yeah.
And that nigga got shot more than once.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing to portray that image amongst Jake, because Jake sees that. So you know what? Y'all be like the baby. I ain't gonna play no games either. And what is the baby teaching niggas? Be hasty in the spirit. And that's how niggas get their top blown off. Because they trying to be the baby. Meanwhile, the baby got 12 security guards and live in a goddamn Beverly Hills somewhere in a gated community, right? Your ass stay in the projects where any nigga cross the corner and run through your shit anytime you want. And you get hasty in the spirit because you rocking with the baby and that nigga rocking with the baby. Now both of y'all think y'all the tough guy. Both of y'all hyped off pride.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think you ain't listening to the same bullshit he listening to? Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's why you're not supposed to have these guys as your role models. See, it's a thin line between having pride, being a man, being scared, having faith, you know? Yeah, now as a man, you don't just let no other man just totally take over you and, you know, on some wicked shit, but you're not supposed to be hasty in the spirit. You're not supposed to be a provoker. You're supposed to have control over your spirit, man. You're supposed to use wisdom, you know? Not just wilding out because you can. Yeah, everybody look at me, I'm a tough guy, you know? And you're not even out like that, man. You a goddamn celebrity. You protected by the goddamn CIA. All these rappers, their security are CIA, man. Whether you know it or not. They have something called the hip hop police. These niggas are in contract with some of the top Amalekites in the world on these record labels. They don't allow these niggas to just roam free with that money, man, and that fame. I was listening to an interview Carmelo had. He said even the CIA runs the NBA. He said he went into the coach office and the coach was telling him, look, man, you gotta get off the streets with such and such. With this guy and that guy. Down he was naming the dude. He was like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, I know where you've been. I know what you've been with. You gonna make the organization look better. Carmelo said that's when I knew the CIA runs the NBA team. Why? Because you get in a contract with the devil, you just roam around free. Yeah. No, nigga. You got people watching you, man. I remember LL Cool J said something about that, the hip hop police. Because that's their money. That's their money, you know?
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 13 and verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child.
And that's where somebody got to stand up for the Willie Yabas for them shot. The Lord said when he found faith in them days, somebody has to stand up. Will we be those chosen elect or not? See, that's another thing. He got a chosen nation, but out of that nation, he has a chosen elect. You can be an Israelite and still receive the judgment of the wicked nations. Somebody got to stand up, man. Well, in a land full of filth and abominations. And we have good role models. We have good examples. We're going to be like Lot. We're going to be like Noah. We're going to be like Job, Abraham. We're going to be like our forefathers. They kept faith when it seemed like it was a losing battle. You know? Especially in the eyes of these wicked, carnal people. You got You know, the whole alphabet movement, like you see right there, it has become a norm. It's normal now. It's normalized. That's how you know when the last of the last days. You know, it's normal to see a man dressed up as a woman now. You know, at first you were shocked at it. Now it's become normal. You know, somebody has to stand up in these days.
It's just mind-boggling. Like I said, how we became to the point with the LGBT, like I said, XYZ element or non-binary and all. It's crazy that in 2022, it's like how, I mean, like I said, it's gotten worse, man. To the point where, like I said, at this point, like I said, hey, like I said, you can be so-called Edomite and be called African American, you know, that actually, like I said, 20 he might try to think that he was somewhat Filipino, no, damn well he was an Edomite, man. You know, and they'll fight that, you know what I mean? That's why they got like a cancer culture, man. You know, like I said, if you try to say something, no matter if it's the harsh word or some of the lightweight, you know, like I said, they try to cancel you, man. You know, they can ruin your whole career. You know, that's what a lot of these celebrities, I'm talking about, like I said, the ones that want to speak up, they got to be careful of what they say, man, because they don't want to lose their pockets. Man. So they'll be like, well, it ain't me. If I try to say something, you already know something just leave it alone. You know, they got to
I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things.
There you go. I mean, that's going back to my initial point. When, you know, raising a son up, you know, you got to teach him about manhood now, how to survive as a man. You know, and a lot of these men, we talk about the women a lot, how they're gonna get raped. But these men gonna be getting it too, at the same rate, because they not men. They wasn't raised to be men. You know, and relying upon a gun, because everybody when their mama got a gun out, that does not make you a man. And the Lord can put you in a situation where you're not with your gun, you know, where you can't get to it, where somebody's quick on the draw. You can get caught in so many types of situations out here, man. You know? That don't make you a man. First and foremost, you instill the fear of Yahweh Shine yourself. You know? Let the Lord direct your steps. You know? You move like this, you move like that. A lot of these men, the scriptures tell you they're going to be holding their loins in that day as women, crying like women. Because the fear that's going to be put upon them. You know, the Lord knows your greatest fears. He created you. Idiot. He said he knows the number of hairs on your head. Yeah. he knows you from when you used to wear your pajamas, hide under the covers. He's seen that. He's seen your darkest moments. And you think you're going to hide from him? Yeah. He knows your darkest, deepest secrets. You know, that's why it's a fool. The fool has said there's no power. You know? Debo. He knows Debo's biggest fear. You know? Yeah. Debo gonna be crying like a bitch in Jacob's film. Yeah. The Lord gonna allow them unclean spirits to hump on Debo's ass, man. Yeah.
That's what that prayer said.
Second Ezra 6. We start at 54. It says, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou hast made the world for our sake. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle.
Yeah, the whole earth is created for us. You know, we're supposed to be ruling over New Zealand, you know, Sweden, them beautiful land masses. You know, the earth is a beautiful creation, man. Just go on YouTube, even on TikTok, I was watching HD videos on TikTok. Man, the earth is amazing. Right. Some of those auroras up there in Alaska. I mean, gosh. You imagine you sitting out there at night and you watching auroras just coming through purple and green and pink and the earth is amazing. But all we know is Kentucky Fried Chicken and concrete. That's captivity, man. That's hell. Yeah. And a lot of Jake don't even know how beautiful the earth is until you see how other countries are still built off the land. You know what I'm saying? Like when I went to South America like that, it's concrete in the major cities, but majority of the country is built off the land. So you'll see nothing but greenery, mountains. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you'll feel like just a better energy. You just feel uplifted because you're around nature. Your house is in nature. You know what I'm saying? It's not just surrounded by hip hop music, concrete, just death.
They didn't.
Not so often. When I'm out there doing my errands, running my routes, and I go to like where the country, yo, like the brother said, the vibe is so different. I physically and spiritually feel better. The houses are spread out more. I'm talking about I'm out here in the country where you might not have another house for another half a mile. And you don't hear, it's quiet. You see more of the earth. I breathe better, I feel better, man. You know, the energy is, like the brother said, it's just your whole vibe, you're at peace, you actually get to hear yourself think. You know what I mean? Get your thoughts together out. But in the inner city, everything, look, even right here. Now, this ain't considered a hood, but everything's congested. Sometimes we gotta shut up from teaching because it's too loud when it rides by, you know? It's all confusing, you know? When you out there in the country, as they say, man, it's peaceful. So imagine in the mountains, you know, where water's at, you know what I mean? Where it's not as many of, this is not how we supposed to be brought up, where you can hear your next door neighbor or having relations with their woman. It's madness, man. You ain't supposed to hear this, you know?
If I may say this,
Going house to house.
if I may say this, because the brother hit a really strong point. Because if you do go around the world, you know, you see different places, you realize that those places didn't destroy the land to build a house.
That's the point I was making.
They didn't clear out swaths of a forest just to put one house.
Let me add on real quick. You know, somebody that might be, say this part of Virginia we in, somebody that actually grew up here and they might be in their 60s. They'll tell you, I remember when this was all woods.
Or like a river.
Yeah, it was, but they tear it down. They tear down the earth, how the Most High set things up. You know? Yeah, man.
Yeah, the foundation of these other countries ain't built. That's the point I was making. The foundation, they kept the earth. You know what I'm saying? So, and even with their food, they know they'll have the bullshit in the stores, but they still keep the real food. You know what I'm saying? GMO is not flooded throughout the stores. So if you go get meat, you're gonna be tasting the meat. It tastes different. You'll be like, this beef tastes real. It tastes better. The juices, the fruit, it tastes better. You know, there's seeds and all fruits that I'm getting. Like when I ordered breakfast out there, bro, it was a restaurant like McDonald's, but it was totally different. They would give you fruit, like real fruit. They'll give you a sandwich, but it ain't heavy on the meat. You know what I'm saying? They got vegetables. You know, they got grilled cheese. You know, the bread is real. It ain't frozen bread. You got a dal. You know what I'm saying? This here is hell. America, and a lot of people that come over here to America, they realize, yo, I really want to go back to my country. You know what I'm saying? Be around my people.
The people are different.
Because even though we're poor, we have more. Like even being around Asher, they're happy. Which that's what Asher means. But you can see, even though they don't have nowhere near as much as these women have here, these men have here, but they're more happy. Why? Because they're not under this whole celebrity. Like I gotta try to be like the celebrity. I gotta get the newest thing that's out. I gotta try to impress this person. You know, it's life ain't built upon that. You know, life is still kind of built upon some basic principles. Even though they wicked as hell out there too. But it's more of going back to that earthly state. You know, that Esau is totally wiped off wherever he is.
Can I say one more thing? Even with the food, so over there, you like across the water, you have a choice. You can go to a supermarket or you can go to a mom and pop shop. And in the mom and pop shop, they actually had homemade bread made in a stone stove.
Yeah.
You had goat cheese from the real goat that you looking at. You know, even the bricks are made out of the environment. In other words, if you were in Saudi Arabia, the concrete that you walked on was the sand that you also walked on.
It's pretty much the sand.
Oh yeah, that's back up. My I'll be real quick, man. That's what a lot of people cause depression and suicide, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You know, and vanity, man. It's depressing. Like you said before, we go so different, like I said, what they're happy, they more appreciate it, but here, and like I said, everybody's selfish and this and that. Like you said before, like you go to somewhere else, and some people appreciate it happy, man. Like you said, it's all rain and vaccination of the spirit over here, man. That's what, like I said, you be in your house for too long, what happens? You get depressed, right? You gotta find something to do, or as the scripture says, what? You idle what? Creates what? Wickedness, right?
And I didn't even know like social media was such a big deal. Like people actually, these people that go for social media, they actually care about their followers. Like I didn't know that was a big deal. Like people are like trying to get their followers up. They need the likings and shit. Like I didn't know it was that. I'm like, damn.
They get paid
I
off.
just recently found. No, I'm talking about people that don't even get paid off. Shorty, I seen a clip of Shorty. She just want her followers up. She was saying how like
People who don't have more followers, they make me feel less. Y'all need to help me get my followers up.
And I'm just like, you see, now you can't live like that though, because you're living wrong. You know, you're living for the likes of people you don't even know. You don't give a shit about you. You can't live like that because you're steady trying to portray an image that's not real.
They're already a part of the system. They're already like a part of that credit system.
You know, from what I heard from like the Generation B crowd, when they meet somebody, the first thing they ask is, "What's your Instagram?" Not to be nosy, but to see how many followers they have, to see how popular they are. To say, okay, he's somebody or she's somebody I can rock. Now, say here that person only got 25 followers, they might just off of that, they might not rock it, regardless of his personality, regardless if the woman's attracted to him. If his followers ain't up, and it's a popularity contest, you know. And you know, another thing, real quick, Salakia, I've talked to my young cousins and people that are of that age bracket. They're uncomfortable with a man walking up to them trying to get to know them. You know, how we came right. Hey, we see somebody we like, hey, excuse me, however you holler, even if it was a year or, you know, whatever. Come, yo, I'm digging you. What's up? Can I get to know you? Can I get your number? They're creeped out by that. The way you get a woman or a woman gets a man nowadays, social media. I need to know what's going on with your followers and stuff.
That's my wife. They got this online thing.
Yeah.
So you gonna be the birthday this
So the person I know, she said if a man walked up to me to try to holler, I would be creeped out. She said
They don't even know how to.
She would be creeped out if a man actually was interested in her and walked up to me.
They don't even know how to interact with me.
Well, what do we see? Come on now, all we see is this when people walking by. They not even looking. You know, they got their looking down at their phone. You know? Hey, no matter where you go, look at the younger generation and sit and watch when they sit down at a mall, whatever. They could be right next to their date or at a restaurant, and they're not talking. They're on their phone, waiting for their food to come out. You know, this is not life, man.
It's everybody now. It's all generations.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Because
everybody.
Look, and remember I brought that up last week. The older crowd has succumbed to the younger crowd, yo. You know, they doing what the young people do.
And that's what the brother was bringing out earlier, you know. Even the grown men are acting like children. You know, acting like kids. Like on the video games all day as if, you know, on their phones and.
Yeah, the phone is a blessing for us because of YouTube and the word gets out. But it distracts our people from what's really going on out there.
Let's go with that.
I got
Yeah, read it again.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
There you go. That's what the brothers is talking about. You know, when you look at everything that people are indulged in, it's really a childish spirit any damn way. You know, nobody really, people think because they work a job that makes them adults. What the fuck it don't? You're just working for a corporation. America, a big corporation. That don't make you a man. That don't make you a woman. That don't make you any goddamn thing, man. Rules and principles and morality that the Lord gives you makes you a man and a woman. You know, a lot of you people are still childish. you know, and we see it on TikTok, you know. TikTok has revealed to me a lot of shit about you motherfuckers, man. I'm talking about that 60-year-olds dancing and shit, and shaking the gyrate, half naked. You can't even blame it on the kids. It's like everybody's spirit is totally whacked out, you know, totally off. And that's what happens when you're under a rulership that is defiled, man. You people get at us because we scream at the so-called white man, but look at his society. Look at his corrupt society. Did not he create this wicked place? We were the forced labor, but he allowed these laws and the way the people are able to behave to be like that. A woman can just divorce her husband. That's madness, man. You can just put a man on child support. That's madness. You know? That's not how society should be ran.
Yeah.
A man is supposed to have control over what's his. When you take that away from a man, now you have totally crushed his spirit. Now he's left with becoming nothing but a servant towards a woman. Shit, I gotta get some pussy, so I become a servant. You know, a man is supposed to feel like a man. He's supposed to everything that's his house. He's in control of that. He's supposed to know he's in control of that. He's supposed to feel like he's in control of that. His woman, his children, his yard. You know, it shouldn't be another man that can just come take it away. Had to drop it down because he feels like it, you know? Or you behind on this and taking this away. You know? We breaking your house down, we tearing your house down, we building the top of it. You know? Go ahead.
It's back in 2nd Ezra. I'm going to start back at 56, and it says, "As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing but be like unto spittle, and has likened them as an abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel." And now,
the point, we was touching on that point, how the world was made for us. You know, we're supposed to be able to, you know, just have nothing but land and just enjoy it. Enjoy the earth and its creation. Enjoy the animals. Not fear the animals, live amongst the animals, man. Because they're beautiful creations too. And they're smart creatures too. The animals ain't stupid, man. You know, they know when to come out, they know when to hide, they know when to attack, they know when to run. You know, they know what they were created to do when they do it. But under this society, animals are treated as, you know, fucking people, wild beasts. You know, be afraid of, confine them. You know what I'm saying? And you go to other countries, they'll let their dogs walk free. You know? And dogs can do that. They ain't gonna just attack you. Because here they can find these wild ass dogs in the houses and they raise them up to be little children. You know? Then when they see another person, they're raising the animals for them, man. I'll never forget that documentary I seen about the damn monkey they took and raised as a fucking baby. Had this Edomite fella, had this nigga dressed up, eating porridge, teaching them English. Then when they had to give him up, they threw him with the rest of the monkeys, man. Man, them monkeys beat that nigga ass. They beat that nigga ass, man. Because he in there trying to communicate with them as like, cause he proper and shit. And them niggas like, you know, in the Planet of the Apes with what's my guy name? Cobra. They had Cobra in that bitch looking at him like. And they said they beat that nigga, and they just started transforming to this place and that place. And he didn't see his owner for a while. They said the owner came and visited him, and he ran into the owner. Like, help me, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was grabbing, right? But she had to go. So she left. And they said after that moment, the monkey was never the same. They said years down the line, she came back. He done been through all type of shit then. She went in that cage. They said all he did was grab her and start slinging her across the whole cage. Blood everywhere. But they said this is how smart the animal is now. They said that could have killed her easy. But he left from it. It shows you he still had an attachment to it. You know? That's the creation of the Lord. We're supposed to rule over these animals in a righteous way. That's what part of the kingdom of heaven says, what? The lion is going to dwell with the cattle animals, you know, they're not going to be attacking the zebra no more. You know, because when you look at nature, that's some vicious stuff, man. Look at some of them nature videos, how hunting really goes down. The Most High created them actions, man. You just grab it with the neck. You know what I'm saying? Alligator pull you in the water, rough, swinging, you know? And that's how these people out here finna be in Jacob's trouble, back to their base nature. It's like we went into last week, without the ways of Yahweh Shemel Shah, you're nothing but brute beast.
Everything's out of this natural nature.
Everything's out of its order, man. You gonna see wild ass people, brothers. Whoever the weakest on the food chain, you gonna be the zebra. This motherfucker alive. Cause he can overpower you. You gonna be the gazelle.
Yeah.
You gonna have a pack of hyenas. They done ganged up. Scavenging what they can. You know? You gonna go back to that beast nature. Because without the ways of Yahweh, matter of fact, you got that Ezekiel have one. Hold on. Might be somewhere in the 30th century. He's about to say something other there.
Yeah, no, about to back you up. You mean that's why when you go back to Genesis, it's just what? Everybody was a beast until what? To what? The Most High gave that breath of life, which is what? That was knowledge, wisdom, and breath of life, which is what? Knowledge and wisdom. And gave us laws, man. To what? Not make us beasts, man. You know, that's what. Yeah, come on. And again, like I said before, because I said in the past, think about it. When all hell breaks loose, you don't have the laws of wisdom. That's why Scripture says, what? Wisdom shall be displayed at our times. You're going to be just out here acting like a wild beast. Not giving a damn.
Which is what they do now anyway.
Yeah.
You know, you really are just wild beasts with clothes on.
Yeah, and of course intelligence, some intelligence.
You wild as hell. Y'all people wild as hell. You do wild shit. Orgies and gangbangs. You know what I'm saying? These people are wild, man.
Like I
Come
said.
on. These people are brute beasts.
Nah. And you gonna see that day. Watch again. Watch what happens when there's no food, no water. You know what? You can't reason with them. It's like, what are you doing? Like they don't care. Like I said, it's brute beasts. It should be like madman spirit.
Without the ways of the Lord, man, we ain't shit. You gotta remind yourself, because the sinful, man, they worthy of what they gonna get. When you look at some of this shit, I had to meditate like, man, now that I'm in the truth, I see some of this shit that be on the internet. I'm like, bro, these people really is nasty.
Yeah,
man.
they are beasts.
These people are nasty. You let other, you got that's a main cuckolds. Men letting other men ram their wives, bust all on their wives, busting in. They get, yeah, get my wife. She loves it. She loves it. Get her. Like this place is wild. And this is not this is something big. This is like a big thing that goes on. You know what I'm saying? Swingers, swinger clubs. You know. Go ahead. Yes, chapter 16. Because this is what made us different from the other nations. Go ahead, bro.
It's Ezekiel 16 and 8. It says, now then I passed by thee and looked upon thee. Behold, thy time was the time of love. And I spread my skirt over thee and covered thy nakedness.
This is the Lord's love poem to his woman. Go ahead. He covered our shame. He clothed us. Go ahead.
I swear unto thee and enter into the covenant with thee.
He swore unto us. He made a vow unto us. He went into a covenant, a marriage, right? He became our husband. We became his woman as a nation. You're gonna be my woman. I'm clothed on you. Make you mine, right? Go ahead.
Yea.
And this is really talking about the sons, because remember, when we speak about the nation, Yashaola, that's the sons, all right? The sons is where the Lord's heart lies, man. He put you here and gave you the woman. You are his inheritance, man. You are his portion, man, that he loves. Unto the Lord's flock of his pasture are you men, the men of Israel, beginning with the elect. Go ahead.
And thou becamest mine. Then wash thee with water, yea, I thoroughly washed away thy blood from thee, and anointed thee with oil. I clothed thee also with broidered work.
Yeah, so he gave us truth, he gave us the word, he gave us prophets, all right? Understanding, leaders to go to for questions. Go ahead.
And shouted thee with badger skin, and girded thee about with fine linen, and I covered thee with silk. I decked thee also with ornaments, and put a bracelet upon thy hands, and a chain on thy neck.
That shows you the Lord's people is right there. Who wears chains on their necks? Even to this day. It ain't the type of chains the Lord gave us during that time. But who wears chains?
Blang blang.
That's us. You don't see these other nations wearing chains around their neck. The Lord did that to his sons. Gave us bracelets made of real stones, real gold. Gave us chains, gave us earrings, gave us crowns, silk, linen, real fabrics. Go ahead. Some of that real musk. You know what I'm saying? That real musk that you can't get in fucking America. That's good. Go ahead.
Straight oil.
Straight oil. Head of shining.
One dab
Yeah.
all day.
Yep. And I put a jewel on thy forehead and earrings in thy ears, and a beautiful crown upon thy head.
So he talking to the men. He's talking to his sons. He's telling his sons, I put earrings in your ear. I put a crown on your head. I put a chain upon your neck. I put bracelets on your wrist. I decked y'all out. Why the fuck y'all doing this to me? Go ahead.
Thus was thou decked with gold and silver.
Real gold and silver. Lord, look this up. Now what we got? Sean John, Polo, Ralph Lauren. Hell up out of here, man. Fake ass cotton. Mixed fabrics. Jake don't even know how to dress. That's why we went through so many periods of clothes changing. You ain't supposed to go through periods of clothes changing like that, man. The Lord has in the kingdom, there's gonna be a way you dress, and that's the way you dress for all eternity. You got the bell bottom era, high men wearing heels era, big T baggy jean era, slim fit era, suit era. Jake don't know how to fucking dress. They just going with fads. They just going with trends. You know, because we ain't got shit. Go ahead, bro.
And thy raiment was of fine linen, and silk, and of broidered works. Thou didst eat fine flour, and honey, and oil, and thou was exceedingly beautiful. And thou didst prosper into a kingdom. And thy renown went forth among the heathen.
Yeah, the Lord said we was beautiful. We was beautiful. We ugly now. The Lord said we were beautiful. We was beautiful. You know? That's why we need a new body. You hear?
For it was perfect through my comeliness, which I have put upon thee, saith Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But thou didst trust in thine own beauty, and playedest the harlot because of thy renown.
Yeah, we thought we was the shit. So we in our own homes, we started worshiping what we wanted to worship. Started setting up what we wanted to set. Started eating what we wanted to eat. Started fucking with our brothers' wives. We started doing what the fuck we wanted to. And if I want, I'm gonna have it. She would like me better anyway. I'm such and such. You know?
And pourest out thy fornication on everyone that passed by. His it was, and of the garments thou didst take, and deckest thy high places with diverse colors, and playedest the harlot thereupon. The like thing shall not come, neither it shall be so. Thou hast also taken thy fair jewels of my gold and of my silver, which I have given thee, and madest to thyself an image of men.
What verse did you start at?
I started at 8.
Go back up to verse 2. Then go back down.
Okay. Son of man, Ezekiel 16 and 2. The Son of Man caused Jerusalem to know her abomination. You know, and that's pretty much what this, that's the explanation of this whole chapter. You know, how the Lord decked us out, and and how we went off. Showing our abominations, how the Lord beautified us, man. And we praise that beauty, you know, as if we did, you know. Verse 3. Go back down there.
No, read verse 3.
We were still okay, fine. And say, thus saith the Lord, power unto Jerusalem, thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. Thy father's was an Amorite, and thy mother's Hittite.
Yeah, but brothers know why it says that, right? That our father was an Amorite, our father was a Hittite, our mother was a Hittite, because in the land of Canaan, who was dwelling in the land of Canaan? The Canaanites. So before we got that land, it was heathens in that land. All right? So we was just like them, really. Unclean. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 4. And as for thy nativity, In the day thou was born, thy navel was not cut, and neither was thou washed in water to sepulchre thee. Thou was not salted at all, nor swaddled at all. Meaning we ain't have the cover of the house by shall. None eye.
Yeah, because when a baby is born, the baby ain't clean. They come all bloody. They look cool. Don't know what the hell going on. The baby got to be clean and swaddled, shown peace. You know. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 5. None pitied thee to do any of these unto thee, to have compassion upon thee, but thou wast cast out in the open field to the loathing of thy person in the day that thou was born.
You can draw down the back where it was.
Back down to 18, it says, and takest thy broader garments, and coverest them, and thou hast set mine oil and mine incense before them. My meat also, which I give thee, fine flour and oil and honey, wherewith I fed thee, thou hast even set it before them for a sweet savor. And thus it was, says Yahweh Shemel Shah. Verse 20, moreover, thou hast taken thy sons and thy daughters, whom thou hast born unto me, and these hast thou sacrificed unto them to be devoured. Is this of the whoredoms of a small matter?
And even today they do that. You give your kids to these other gods. You give your kid to eat. You give your kids to eat. You don't teach them the ways of Yahweh Shemel Shah. Right? You teach them about the tooth fairy. Teach them about Easter. Teach them about Santa Claus. Teach them about going trick-or-treating. You know, not the true meaning of what trick-or-treating comes from, but you just tell them to go trick-or-treat and get candy. Madness, man. You willingly give your children to spiritual fornication and idolatry. And they doing it in ignorance. Then they grow up. Then they continue to do it. And then when they learn that it's wrong, they still do it. So now you ain't doing it in ignorance, you're doing it willfully.
Made them happy as a kid, so now they want to make their kids happy. The cycle continues.
That's right. Because all adults are kids that was brought up in those ways. And then once you tell a hard-headed adult not to do it,
for the kids.
so the cycle continues.
Yeah, because some parents will say, "Oh, I know this is pagan, but I'll do it for the children." You know, they'll admit it. I know this is wrong, but it's all about the kids. So how? The scriptures say, "Train up a child as what?" You know. But so you know it's wrong. Why are you teaching your children wrong? Just so they can have a happy so-called holiday. What's going on? Hey, and another thing, they teach Jeebus. You know what I mean? They don't teach the true name of the Lord and what the Lord is depicted as. You know, they teach the ways of this world.
That's, like I said, that pagan holiday, whatever. You know, Easter. You know, they took their kids out of the
Hey, you know how when we first wake up to the truth, you know, we bug out, we put everything on social media. Hey, you know, Easter just passed. We know that it's Ishtar, and we can show our family that. And we can actually show them they can go do their own research. Oh, that's deep. The next day, that's one ear and out the other, you know? They don't care.
Let me you ask me a basic question. What does a rabbit got to do with a chicken egg?
They'll even laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You right, yo. This shit is stupid. But they still gonna boil them eggs. They still gonna pull out the paintbrushes and the stickers.
You right, bro, but I'm gonna go get my basket.
They had the little basket, you hold the egg, you got the dye, you dip it in the joint. You know what I mean? Get it right. That shit in the way. Yeah, they still gonna do it.
Willfully sinful.
Yeah.
Go with us.
Thou hast slain my children and delivered them to cause them to pass through the fire.
Read that verse again. It's a key word there.
That thou hast slain my children.
His children, not yours. Because Jake think they children belong to him. They think you think yourself belongs to you.
Yep.
The scriptures clearly tell you your body is the temple of the Lord.
Yeah,
The women always used to say, "Hey, the Lord has given me a child." You know, not I mean, of course, that sperm going into that egg caused it, but hey, man, it's all of the Lord. You know, the Lord brought that
Well, so like, the scripture said, I, the Lord, do all things. You know? So this ain't of us. This is the way he designed it. He's the master architect. And these people can't get it, yo. They really think that they control their destiny. You know?
It's the Lord's children, bro. He can put them to death when he wants to. He can have them born when he wants to. They ain't yours. Nothing here is yours. And the quicker you find that out, the better off you'll be.
You was born that. Like I said, you pass away, you can't take it with you.
Exactly. Because it don't belong to you.
Yeah. They say that in the world. Like, you can't take it with you. You know? I think it's what they say. Ain't no money trucks. No Brinks trucks coming behind hearses. You know? But this world is into, you know, the treasures, you know?
That's why you don't mean that's why what? It's a generation cycle. That's why what? Hey, the scripture says about what? Leaving an inheritance for your children. You know, and your children's children. You know?
They don't even consider, you know, a lot of, like deformations as a baby is born. You know? They don't consider the fact that you like if a baby was born with no legs, it was something that he may have done, you know, in a previous life.
That's what they say.
Right.
Well, if you knew what that person did in his past life, or the parents, you know, because, you know, right? You wouldn't say it's fucked up, right?
People don't understand judgment.
Right?
They don't understand the law.
Hey, even when we get fucked up, something happened. It might be because something we did on this trip, we really gotta, yeah. That's right. We gotta repent, man.
If I may say this,
right, beautiful.
if I may say this, you know, I could be walking through my house and stub my toe. I don't get mad over the fact I stubbed my toe. I repent. Yeah, I deserve that for whatever I did. Salakia.
Damn it, what happened?
Then I pray on it. You know?
Yeah, you might not even been done your part. The Lord could just do something because he wants to. That's another thing. Jake likes that understand. You don't gotta be nothing that you can be born retarded because the Lord wants you born retarded. He can do that. A lot of people don't want to take that and damn, that's fucked up.
Some people prideful. Remember, like I said, people be disabled and be prideful. You seen that before?
You see it on TikTok all the time.
Yeah, what's that nigga rolling right? That nigga rolling right. That faggot in the wheelchair, that nigga's a demon. I think he preserved for the nukes. That nigga, he got set on fire.
Yeah, y'all thought I was down and out, bitches.
This nigga in the hospital, this nigga shit burnt up.
Y'all thought I was back, bitches.
He a faggot in a wheelchair, but he just like wicked.
Pride, that sound like pride right there. You talking about how you back? You got to stun on these hoes?
But the Lord gonna hate that nigga though, because just have you in a wheelchair, you a faggot, then you get set on fire.
It's still pride.
That half his shit. Then he did a video, he in the hairdresser, getting a fucking weave, but his shit burnt up there. So I think he preserved for the roots, man.
I'm back.
The Lord got a gripe. I don't know what that nigga is. I don't know who that nigga is, but the Lord got a gripe off for niggas like that. You should just die in that fire, nigga.
It's still pride. Laugh at that. Damn.
He probably was on the smoke shit, burning like a motherfucker, can't move. You know what I'm saying? That's how the Lord works.
He said I'm back.
Go ahead, though.
Take something else.
That thou hast slain my children and delivered them and caused them to pass through the fire for them. And in all thine abominations and thine whoredoms, thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth, when thou was naked and bare and was polluted in thy blood, and it came to pass after all thy wickedness, woe unto thee, saith Yahweh Shem Shah. Thou hast also built unto thee an eminent place, and has made thee a high place in every street. You know, we're still proud as hell. You know, even though the Lord took away all that beauty from you, still proud, man.
Hey, drop down to verse 36.
Verse 36. Thus saith the Lord power, because thy filthiness was poured out, and thy nakedness discovered through thy whoredoms with thy lovers, and with all the idols of thine abominations, and by the blood of thy children, which thou didst give unto them. Behold, Therefore I will gather all thy lovers with whom thou hast taken pleasure, and all them that thou hast loved, and all them that thou hast hated. I will even gather them round about against thee, and will discover thy nakedness unto them, that they might see all thy nakedness.
That's part of our chastisement. Since we wanted to follow after the nations, he gave us to the nations and allowed them to see our nakedness. So his woman, he took his woman and ripped everything he had up. Give me this shit back, bitch. Give me the shoes I bought. Give me that car. Give me all the cars. Leave the black car here, bitch. Pushed out the door. I remember, what's that movie, Diary of a Mad Black Woman, where he had the new chick. He was kicking out the house. She wanted. She was holding on to the couch. He's like, get the fuck out, bitch. Get the fuck out. She's like, where am I supposed to go? She just outside the door crying. You know, he had a car pull up, the drive on. She was in that dress looking pitiful. That's what the Most High does.
Don't touch that coat.
Yep.
Yeah, oxygen says acid. It's not acid, it's still. Israel do not we don't know who we belong to. We African American, we Hotep, you know, Muslim, we 5%, God body, we American. You know, we don't know, who's hot, where's our home, you know?
It's part of the church stuff. They allowed them to see our shame, man. You know, they put us on them slave ships. That's a shameful thing. You know, the way our people look right now, that's a shameful thing. Don't think the nation's gonna be talking shit about us. But, you know, that's the Lord allowed that to happen. We're reading about it. So here, brother. And really, and like I said again, emphasize it again, he's talking about the men. Yeah. We don't have we're not empowered. That's a shameful thing. To be the only nation as a men that can't do shit on the earth. Can't make no treaty with a nation. Can't go into a deal with a nation. You ain't got no military. You ain't sitting at no power tables. You ain't shit with a nigga that can dribble a ball and put two words together. Make this rhyme. Woo. So what, y'all the best entertainers, nigga? We control the money flow. We control the food flow. We control you, nigga. Now continue to dribble and continue to rap. Woo!
You can't even get along.
Good job. Oh, y'all the most fresh. Ooh.
I got the most flavor. Ooh.
Go do that in the hood, nigga. While we control life. While we control the food you eat. Be prideful in your rhythm, nigga. They don't give a fuck about that. Most I don't care about that. But you take pride in this dumbest shit because you destroy it. That's a shameful thing. That's what happens when you go disobey your father.
We the salt of the earth, but the salt is lost.
There you go.
Safe,
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Verse 38. And I will judge thee as a woman that break wedlock and shed blood are judged. And I will give thee blood and fury and jealousy. And I will also give thee into their hand, and they shall throw down thy eminent places, and shall break down thy high places. They shall strip thee also of thy clothes, and shall take thy fair jewels, and leave thee naked and bare.
Just look at all the pictures of our slavery. We was through. We look at the slave shoes we had. You know, it was, man, them shit was horrible. You know, look how they had Gad, the Trail of Tears, man. That's a horrible judgment. That's a horrible judgment. The Trail of Tears. To walk from the south to the west in the snow. That's shameful, man.
The ones that were weak, they were left behind.
Then you fast forward to the year 2022, it's just like, oh, it's just history. Because you've been caught. Go ahead, bro.
They shall also bring up a company against thee, and they shall stone thee with stones, and thrust thee through with their swords. And they shall burn thine houses with fire, and execute judgment upon thee, and the sight of many women. And I will cause thee to cease from playing the harlot, and thou also shalt give no hire anymore.
So the Lord, somewhere along the line, the Lord's going to have mercy upon his woman. You know, that's love right there. That's you got to really love a woman for her to play around with all different type of men. For one, you brought her in your house. She didn't have shit. You gave her everything you had. You taught her everything she knows. The only reason she on some type of level is because of you. Literally because of you. Then she goes and sleeps with this nigga, tells this nigga all the secrets. Yeah, this how you do this how you do that. But she learned it from you. This how you mix this tea here. She fixing this nigga the tea that you taught her. She giving this nigga the medicine you taught her how to make it. Right? Yo, I couldn't do it. I know I couldn't do it. I couldn't like, baby, I'm taking you back in. You know what I'm saying? That's tough, bro. That's tough. Go ahead.
So will I make my fury towards thee rest, and my jealousy shall depart from thee, and I will be quiet, and I will be no more angry, because thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth, but has fretted me in all these things.
Even though, but the Lord did, going back to that rod, he didn't just say, oh baby, you can come back. No, man. Yeah, the Lord, man. And you don't remember it, but your ass was back there during the time of lynchings and the plantation slavery. You was incarnated back then too. You know, every fourth, fifth generation, man. We been catching hell, man. The Lord didn't just bring his woman back. He whooped our ass. You know? So if you did have a woman, she did all that. You beat her to a pope like that and didn't take her back, you know? That's love, man. But that's a love that we haven't been taught. That's a love that comes with correction. You chastise me. You know? A lot of men scared to put their hands on their women. You know? You should do something more. Well, you can't in this society. In the kingdom, we ain't gonna have to. You know, we gonna put our hands on our concubines. You know? You damn show right we are. For one, you gonna have to get your concubines. You think they just gonna, get my Lord? I wait for you. Some of them might be like, I have to wait. Some of them might, but majority of them, fuck you. You gotta put the walls on.
That's what Scripture says. And Scripture says that a lot.
Yeah, you gotta put them balls on them. All them heathen women that belong to us. You gonna have to put hands on them, man.
Yo, Jake's so stupid.
Come on into Jake.
That nigga's so out.
Go ahead, bro.
Therefore also I will recompense.
With the water y'all about the Israelite woman will be made perfect. She gotta be changed completely. She gotta have give a whole new
Yeah,
spirit.
they can't be coming to the kingdom like this.
She gotta be changed completely. You know, the woman you see today is gonna be a whole 360.
180,
180.
Yeah,
180. We don't want them going all the way back.
All that for nothing.
Yeah, we don't want that. 180. You know? Because everything been turned upside down. So the women you see today ain't gonna be the women you see in the kingdom. The water you have about and they're gonna be shamefaced, submissive, beautiful, meek, humble, ready to serve at all times. Beautiful and strong. They ain't gonna be weak, they're strong.
Right.
Strong will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, can't wait. But you heathen women, we will propose on yo. Get your ass in there. All wives will be whooping y'all ass.
Especially she double. She can get it worse. You already know.
All wives will be whooping y'all ass.
Get in here and comb my hair.
You put him through that shit? You might walk in your palace one evening and just see one of your wives dragging like more by the head. Yeah. Like, damn, what the fuck? Let me go get some fruit.
What you done did, Maylene, what the fuck you done did?
She dragging the bitch by her hair. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't gonna be like she's struggling doing it.
Yeah,
Because she can have problems too.
Glory too.
It's work. Go ahead, bro.
Fucked up.
Therefore also will I recompense thy way upon thy head, said the whole power, and thou shalt not commit this lewdness above thine abominations. Behold, everyone that uses proverbs shall use the proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother, so is the daughter.
Hey, shalom, shalom.
Verse 45, thou art thy mother's daughter that loatheth her husband and her children, and thou art the sister of thy sisters, which loathe their husbands and their children. Your mothers were Hittites, and your fathers Amorites.
So basically, he was so mad at us that he just says, look, you're heathen now, as the mother, as the father.
That's right.
Go back to being like them Canaanites were, you know? And then really, you see it today, Jake want to be a Canaanite.
I'm African. Black.
You know? But you can jot down the verse when his mercy turns back. I think it's around that,
Verse 60.
Yep, verse 60. Then we'll finish that out and we'll do what you read.
This Ezekiel 16 and 60. Nevertheless, I will remember my covenant with thee in the days of thy youth, and I will establish unto thee an everlasting covenant. Then shall
So wait a minute. So that cuts the whole Christianity debacle. Because he basically said, look, I had this woman. She broke our covenant. She broke the vows. She did all this adultery, spiritual fornication. But I'm taking her back, and I'm going to give her an everlasting covenant. Where's that at? Hebrews 8th chapter.
Yep.
That's the new covenant. So that cuts, vocab, that cuts your Ezekiel chapter 16. We getting the whole new covenant. You know? Go ahead, bro.
Then thou shalt remember thy ways and be ashamed. And when thou shalt receive thy sister,
And we are ashamed. We remember in our ways. We're ashamed. We're ashamed at the state that we're in. You know? Because we realize it ain't cool to be the only people on the planet Earth with no power at all. What institution do we have that can make moves? Where we uphold guys like LeBron James, Oprah Winfrey, P. Diddy, that Kanye West. What Kanye West supposed to be with a billionaire now? What power move has he made in the earth? That makes Putin turn his head. That makes Kim Jong-un turn his head. That makes Boris Johnson over there in London turn his head. He ain't making no power moves. Because the Federal Reserve notes he got came from who? E. And it's controlled by E. Go ahead, bro. See, in the kingdom, we're going to control commerce. We're going to control the money situation. How money is instituted, you know? Hey, that's one of the curses, right? They should lend unto you, but you should not lend unto them. They should be the head, you should be the tail. They gonna come to us for their money, for their cattle, for their clothing. You know?
The curse shall fall upon them.
That's exactly right. Jake don't understand that you can set up a small business, but you don't control the flow of any of it. You know? If them ships start docking, which is controlled by E, now your products ain't coming in. If those planes start flying, which is controlled by E, now your product ain't coming in from China for your little small business that you got on eBay or wherever. Your little link on your Instagram page. Go ahead, brother.
when thou shalt receive thy sisters, thine elders, and thy younger, I will give them unto thee for daughters, but not by thy covenant, and I will establish my covenant with thee, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua.
We're all people. He's going to establish it with all people. No, he's going to establish with that woman. He just wrote about in Ezekiel the 16th chapter. And that woman ain't talking about Esau. And damn sure ain't talking about Moab or Ammon. And damn sure ain't talking about Ham. It's talking about Yahshua, the woman he loves. And we brought it out earlier. He has a favorite. His Lily, his favorite love with Lily ain't going to change. Or you saying our power has a fickle mind, that he changes, he's tossed to and fro. The scriptures say, be not tossed to and fro with every wind. The scriptures say, let your yea be yea, your nay be nay. There is no gray area with the Lord. There is no maybe. It's yes or no. But you're telling us the Most High has a fickle mind. I said this, but now I'm going to say this. That's basically what Christianity said. He said he chose Israel, but now he said he's choosing everybody.
Wait a minute. Doesn't that make the Most High a liar?
Yeah, yeah. He lied to Abraham. Yeah.
And it says,
That's what they're saying.
Yeah,
That's what they're saying.
he could what? Is there a perfect thing? Second, what's that perfect thing? He's like, what? He can search out the stars and the depths, you know? Perfect paraphrasing God, you know?
Then shall I cast out Israel?
Yeah. So if he can do that, you know, hey, it will make what? The most out
He looking though.
He trying, but
He trying, but it ain't gonna work.
miserable. Like I said,
You can't blame the devil for trying. He ain't got nothing else. If I was trying, if I was an Edomite, and I know that my future is slavery,
And destruction.
I'm gonna try to fool the whole world. I'm Jacob. I'm Jacob. I'm gonna make all the movies can't look like me. All the Bibles can't look like me. I'm gonna create some shit. Enslave y'all, put a chip in y'all. I'm gonna try to control everything y'all do.
He's going down swinging. Revelation 12:12. He gonna devise. He gonna come up with every plan he can think of. He's gonna come up with a potion that make everybody take just even the ball move. You know. Then he's gonna come with the M to the O. You know what I
Walk to
mean?
the beast, that's word.
You know what I mean? He's gonna keep coming with it. He's gonna go down swinging.
Pharaoh tried that. You see what happened to him?
Yeah. His heart was harder.
Yeah.
I would do the same shit. If I was eating I would, man, I'll be even worse. You niggas gonna have y'all. If I knew I was an Edomite, you niggas ain't worse.
Killing the worst.
You know,
Killing everything.
What's the whole, I think it was 60s, the encyclopedia that said Edom is modern day
Jews.
Jewish.
One of them values.
Yeah, one of them, you know, other Malcolm, he always brings it out. That's just proof of this. He's not going to let up until the Lord crack these styles, man. He's going to come with everything he could think of, man. He's going to come with the left hook, the right hook, the uppercut. You know, he's going to come with the little nut shot. Bang! You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to keep rocking.
But on a serious note, brother's a joke, but it's not even him doing it, it's the Lord doing it. The Lord is willing, so really it's the Lord's judgment against his people. That's what we was reading in Ezekiel. You know, the Lord is doing all this. He is just the tool being wielded. Because he ain't in control of nothing. Just like we was going into earlier, he didn't create the earth. He didn't create us. He has no control over the spirit. What does the scripture say? Fear not them that can kill body and soul, fear them that can take control of your soul, the spirit. That's the Most High. So everything that's about to come up against our people is the Most High. Judgment for our iniquities, bro. That we've done in the past and that we still do. We still go off every day. You know? As long as you're in this flesh, you're going to go off. I don't care what nobody's saying, that you keep all the laws perfect. All 613. Get out of here, bro. How many of y'all done slept in the same bed with your woman in the period? Or then sat in the same spot? You don't know, you just sat, you go in this store, sit down. There was a woman on her period that just sat there and you didn't know.
Touching the door handle, women on here, cycles touch. We can't be perfect.
You don't know 100% what's in your food. That's right. Because you're not in control of the food production.
Everything's a blame.
But you got those guys that want to be.
Come back.
But you got those guys that want to be all righteous. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you keep it low to your best ability, but you ain't gonna keep it perfectly in the flesh.
That's what this is what be not over righteous. Why should I destroy that? You're gonna destroy yourself. Oh, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. You know, that's madness. You know, eventually, like I said, you're gonna sin.
Yeah, Paul speaks about that in Galatians. If you're gonna make the law the way to salvation, then you're gonna be bound to those confines. You're gonna get judged according to the law. So as soon as you break one of them, you gotta get that judgment. That's what Paul was trying to teach those guys that were law. Okay, brother, you want to be all about the law? Then the Most High gonna judge you according to the old covenant. They don't get no stricter than that. Now you don't have no grace, you don't have no mercy. That's the whole point of us having Yahweh Shai. So that we don't get judged under the confines of the old covenant. You have a period of grace, mercy, that allows you to slip into heaven.
That's what he's there for. That's what he sacrificed his life.
He was there from the beginning, even in the time of Egypt, but they didn't know, or they knew, but they didn't understand it then. It was all about faith. You know?
Yeah, he was that water. He was that water that flowed out of the rock. Over here. Go ahead, bro.
Back in Ezekiel 16, this is the last verse, 63. and that thou mayest remember and be confounded, and never open thy mouth any more because of thy shame, when I am pacified towards thee for all that thou hast done.
So now your woman back in the house, quiet as hell, doing the dishes.
Right.
She know never to speak up out of order again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everything cleaned up, sparkling in the house. Go ahead. You come home, everything straight.
That's right. And you got the dinner.
What you want for dinner?
Right. Exactly.
Look how much money you save from that, bro. They don't understand it.
Say that again, bro.
They save a lot of money when your wife is home cooking and watching the kids. You ain't got to worry about daycare paying for that. You ain't got to worry about, you know, getting all these fast food restaurants. You know, you save a lot of, you know, but I'm saying the benefits. You know, the Bible benefits us the most. And I don't understand why they don't want to go down the, I can never understand that. You know what I'm saying?
Wicked world, man.
It's backwards, you know. The Bible literally tells you all the things you need to do to live a good life. And they just like, I want to do this. I just, when I think about that, that shit drives me.
It's always been that way, bro. It's always been that way. Since the fall in the garden, it's been that way. And matter of fact, we can go back to the second Ezra.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go. This is Amos chapter 3, verse 1 says, "Hear this, the word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel." And it talks about Israel specifically, and they say every nation, you know, and said specifically who? The nation of Israel. Against the whole family which I have brought thee up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only, that's a key word, only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. You know, that's what happened, man. You know, by what? Not following the law, statutes, commandments of the Lord gave us. You know, what do you see? I mean, what do you see in the scriptures where the Lord gave, you know, like I said, the 10 commandments to any other nation? You know, why are they going through their punishment or captivity? You don't see that, man. You know, where you get to see where they get all the curses? You know, they should hate their nation. You know, they should go one of all things. You know.
Yeah, if you got children, if your son went out with his homeboys and they got in trouble, you know what I'm saying? I remember when I was young, we got in trouble for trespassing. My friend, he was fat, so that nigga got caught. I was able to get back to the crib. I said that nigga get caught. I said, hold this nigga on sticks. But point being, if you a father, are you gonna be worried about him, or you gonna be worried about your son? You gonna be your son? What the fuck? I tell you not to be doing it. Or you gonna go? Or you gonna move your son out of the way and run to his homeboy crib and whip him? No, he got his own purpose. So the Most High chastise us. That's the best thing he's going into. You know, he chose us. We only have humanity. You know, he punished us for our iniquities because we're his children. Y'all shall all the princes of the power, the sons of the Most High. Yeah. So Moab can go over there and Moab can be over there worshiping the Buddha, right? The Elamites can be worshiping the Hindu gods and, you know, all the other gods they worship. Most High don't give a fuck. They not his children. They not under his house rules. But he chose you to rule over them to teach them his rules. But you still in the house learning. Before you can go out and teach them, you gotta be corrected. You know? And that's what the Most High is doing right now. He's correcting us before we can lead and be gods on earth. Why the hell are we gonna correct the nations and them? No, we are totally destroyed. You know? Even the Israelite camps, fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So the Most High, hey, the scripture say what? Judgment shall begin at the house of the Lord first. You know what I'm saying? Before he goes out to these nations. He's getting his house in order first. Then he gonna let us out off punishment outside. Then we gonna say, hello, bitches. You know what I'm saying? You come over here, you come over here, you come over here. This how things finna operate. This how my father want things, you know, orchestrated. This how big bro Yahushua want things orchestrated. And they gonna listen or they gonna get chastised like we got chastised. And there ain't gonna be no light chastisement. Because it wasn't light for us, man. Scriptures say, spare not the rod. So just off that alone, we know Esau gonna get fucked up in the kingdom. Because he missed the king do right. Everything he touches is off. He touched the food, he fucked it up. He touched the medicine, he fucks it up. He touched the air, he fucks it up. You know, you were saying something about the chemtrails. You know? Everything he touches, destroyed.
Can't govern correctly. You know what I mean? That, so, to the point where the laws changes, he crosses invisible line. You know, it's big.
That's
The
crazy.
gun line.
Tell about the gun line, boss.
What was you about to say, bro?
I mean, see, like, you know, when we have like conflicts,
You came in here before, didn't you? I remember your face is familiar.
like, not like a year ago.
Yeah, we don't forget faces. So.
But like Hanukkah, you know, we need the lamb and stuff, right? Is it Hanukkah?
You talking about Passover?
No, well, we eat lamb on the Hanukkah too. Like,
It's
we
not
do Passover too,
mandatory,
but
but it's mandatory for Passover. Go ahead. With
Passover, I have the Hanukkah too. But I'm just saying, it's easier for us to find lamb sometimes. See, it seems like they leave them to eat chicken and stuff and all these other meats. And now we got lamb abundance to us. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, okay, they, you know, the Jewish people that claim our heritage, they made it easier for them to maintain whatever they need to maintain in religious practices or whatever they do throughout history. And it's like they control everything so it be benefit to them. And it's like it's an outline for us when we step in to make it easier for us. I don't know, it's just something I've been thinking about, man.
I get what you're trying to say.
It's something I've been thinking about.
It's like a false hope. You know what I'm saying? They try to get you, you know? Because, I mean, that's what this society teaches you pretty much, you know, everything's accessible. You know what I'm saying? In abundance, you know? But that's false hope because that's not true, you know?
Yeah, you go to Job 9 and 24.
But that's, I mean, that's not true though, you know what I'm saying? Because you gotta work to do all those things that you speak about, you know?
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but I'm trying to say like we need lamb right now. Everybody, if everybody needed lamb at the same time, it'd be out of stock. We can't find it nowhere. Does that make sense?
See, but also, like I mean, that's when that faith comes in, because what? The Lord always has a way.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
I mean, like, you mean to get something. Like for example, we know that, like I said, there's going to be a famine. So, like I said, there's going to be no food. You know, so what? A lot of people going to be dying of starvation. But for the men, you know what I mean, for the ones that listen, the Lord give mercy to. I mean, like I said, again, the Lord going to give food. You know, like I said, it may be coming from a bird or what. You know, just like I said, doing like after Egypt. You know, like I said, what our forefather was basically running through the desert. You know, it was hungry, it was crying, whatever, crying to Moses. You know, man, of course, you know, Moses talked to Heavenly Father, and look what happened. The Lord gave what? Manna.
But was that what was the point you trying to get at? Because you was going somewhere with that.
I'm saying.
You said if everybody wanted to buy
Okay,
land.
so that they're copying our heritage by the laws and stuff. They're trying to, you know, keep whatever. Say they have their Hanukkah, they have their Passover and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, like, it seems like they trick the world into thinking this way and eating this way and behaving this way so they can live righteous. Because what I'm saying is they're trying to keep the law and you know, and the dietary laws and stuff like that, but they just made everybody else look, oh, eat this and eat that and eat this.
While they're trying
at the
to
same
keep the
time,
ways.
we over here got abundance of lamb. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, we see you over there. That's okay. We're going to have all that lamb soon.
And even with them, it's so confusing because you got different sects of Judaism.
Yeah.
Like some of them believe in keeping those ways that you're talking about, eating the right dietary law. Then some of them totally believe in eating what the fuck they want to eat. You know, some of them believe in the Messiah coming back. Yeah, some of them believe in the Messiah coming back. Some of them don't. Judaism?
Yeah.
That's the religion. That's the religion they worship. You know, basically like a combination of paganism and our customs. So like they can still uphold our dietary law, but still on the back end eat pork. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't completely adopt our ways. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Because Judaism ain't even in the scriptures. It ain't even in the scriptures. Matter of fact, brother Google Judaism. Because it's some bullshit.
I was going to say, but if you go to Job 9 and 24, it says the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. They're ruling right now, so that's why everything's upside down. Yeah, there's an abundance of land. But what average Jake, average so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American can afford the diet of lamb on the regular? You can't. It's expensive. But you know what he does? He makes pork chops. I don't even know now, but back in the day, pork chops was cheap as hell. That's what you could afford, you know. Back in the day, you could afford chicken. Now, look, you can't even get no wings unless you pull out $25. You know what
That
I'm
plays
saying?
part of greed too, because if you can't afford it, you don't need to be eating that much. You know what I'm saying?
See, but that's why they do it.
Yeah.
That's why they do it. So the food that you buy, that you can afford,
Yeah.
they made it that way.
GMO.
Right. They made it so that you can afford chicken.
I'm MSG.
You know, chopped meat.
Yeah.
You know,
So
it's very rare. It's very rare that you actually go out and eat steak oil
Right.
from a good cow.
It ain't gonna give it up. Yeah.
You know,
So
so
if everybody practice more fasting, like I eat once a day. So people try to eat 4 times a day when they taught. If they just learn how to not eat those 3 times, they can afford that food. You know what I'm saying? That makes
they
sense.
about to learn it real
They
soon.
about to learn it.
They're about to learn it real soon.
Let's go into scripture.
I got something. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 2, and it says, if any man think that he know of anything, he know of nothing, yet as he ought to know. And it says, but if any man love the Most High, the same is known of him. So, like I said, live with the Most High and like acting like the Most High, you know, like you said before, you know, them trying to, again, because of course, like I said, they stole our customs, you know, to make them seem like they're the real people, but they're not, you know. And this, you know, according to what Revelations 2 and 9, you know, synagogue and Satan. And it says, of course, verse 3, it says, as concerning therefore the things of those things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols, we know, and there is none other power but one, though there be called many gods, whether in heaven or in earth.
That's what we always tell people. Okay, you say you love God, you worship what God? Hey, there's many gods, man. There's many gods. You gotta be specific.
I heard all the time, Lord Jesus, Big Cheese. Lord Jesus, Big Cheese. That's what that really a term? Lord Jesus, Big Cheese.
Well, you can say that because you can say that because the Book of Psalms tells us that we're gods too, because we're sons of the Most High. But what I was saying is, like, people that say like, oh, I worship God, but what God are you talking about? Because if you say the God of the Bible, now you gotta come under what the God of the Bible requires.
Because, you know, nowadays what's real popular, I brought that out last week, my God. The way my God works. Oh, who's your God? That's what you gotta ask. Who's your God?
And then that's when they're left with because the scriptures also tell us what is his name is now can tell. Now we want to know the name of your God. Is it Buddha? Is it Allah? Is it Shiva?
I pray for you. You know, I pray to God for you. Like, what God you praying for? My bad. You know what I'm saying?
It's not a funny word, it's an element. He says, what? In God we trust.
Yeah, what God?
That's too generic. That's like saying, you know, I fuck with men. I love all men. You know what I'm saying? I love the man that stay at that's my man that stay at apartment 203. Okay, what man is that? Is it the man that see coming up the steps the other day? What's his name? Yeah. You know, we gotta get specific.
Yeah, you gotta be specific. That's right, because Christianity, you know, they don't believe in the God of the Bible. You know, but the Christians say they do, but the actions are completely different. Their God is not the God of the Holy Bible. You know?
Because that's a relationship between the worshiper and the opponent. It's like if you say, okay, I like Shorty that live over there. What's her name? We don't think it's any Shorty. You know what I'm saying? Let us know. But when it comes to the Most High, it's all generic.
Yeah.
It's never specific. Even with the whole Christianity thing, all people. Show me in the scriptures where it says you gotta be specific. Edomites can get salvation. Show me the passage that says Edom will get salvation. Moab will get salvation. Ammon, well, you can't find it.
Yeah.
So since you can't find it, keep it generic.
Then you gotta add on. Whoa. Because we're spiritual Israelites. Like, where in the scripture?
And where is that? Now it does say that, but you gotta have the understanding to know if you're gonna be spiritual Israel, you have to first be the physical Israel.
That's right.
You know? Because that's in Romans. It speaks about the olive tree, but even the scriptures tell you that the olive tree is Israel. What is that in the book of Isaiah? It tells you the olive tree is Israel. You know? So the other nations were known as the olive tree. So if the branches were broken off the olive tree, those were Israelite branches. If you're gonna put more branches on the olive tree, they have to be Israelite branches.
But it's not the same tree.
It's still the same tree.
Olive branch,
Find
wild
that
olive
scripture on
branch.
the olive tree, because Israel was called the olive tree. Moab wasn't called the olive tree. Esau wasn't called the olive tree. But right in the same passage, Paul says, has the Most High cast away his people? God forbid. Right before he goes into the olive tree right there. But they totally skipped past that. Hurry up, go down to the olive tree part.
You had the wild olive.
I think that's Zechariah.
Don't even
What's-
use the
what's
King
that
James Bible,
called?
you know?
Oh, Judy second. Oh, yeah.
I think it's Zechariah.
All right, bro.
All right, man.
I'm sorry. One more question.
Yeah.
How do I find the right apocrypha? I got an apocrypha, right? But nah, what you say, show if you got the right one. Is that a different version?
Get the one that's part of 1611 King James. Because you can get the 1611 King James with the apocrypha already in it, how it initially was prescribed, or you can just get it separate. Like you see the authorized King
That's
James
what we got.
version.
Yeah, that's what we got.
This the one you got?
That's the one we got.
Yeah, you got the right one.
All right, just making sure.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, bro.
Yep. The one that was initially part of the King James version.
The Cambridge.
Con, I wanted to get this for him if I may bring it out.
Lord.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 5. For though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or earth, as there be gods many and lords many. You know.
Yeah, you got many lords. You got many gods. Like if you was a servant, because some of the brothers, Paul speaks about how some of the brothers had to be obedient to their masters. Some brothers actually were servants and had masters. He tells you, I have a lord. What's the name of his lord? There's many lords. You know, who is that man's servant? Who is he a servant to?
And also, like I said, I remember that the elders, the body, like you said in the past, like I said, those are just titles. You know, anybody can name, let's say, give themselves a title.
Yeah, generic titles.
Yeah, you know, like Christ. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's a title.
Father, mother, brother, sister. Those are generic titles. Friend, that's a title. Give us a name. So when the brother was going into God, you know, okay, who is your God? Tell us the name of your God. And then that's when it gets confusing, because now you got to run to what Esau taught you. I heard Jehovah before. That's Jehovah. I heard that before, Jehovah. You know, because then you wasn't taught right. You just trying to remember some shit that you know what I'm saying? Go into the name. Then you got to go into the account with Moses, how he told Moses his name, all that I am, right? But even that, you have to dig into that, because he told Moses, moreover, tell the children of Israel, I, thy Lord, have sent me unto the children of Israel. This is my name forever. And then you go read other scriptures where it tells you the Lord, this is his name. The Lord, this is his name. There's many scriptures that say the Lord, in all caps, this is my name. And what is this transcribed to in the Hebrew?
Yeah. Even those
The
like
tetragrammaton.
yeah. You know what I mean? Even those, like I said, even like I said, I'm talking about in our community, so-called community, you know, people get tripped off of it.
Oh, wow.
You know, I mean, they think he's talking about, you know what I mean? A lot of people get the misconception, like I said, about teaching, you know what I mean? It says I am who I am. They think it's him, I am that sent me. And I say, no, man, that's the Heavenly Father.
Yeah, even our Savior's name, Yahweh Shah. Even when the Christians call him Jeebus. Jeebus is not, even if you wanted to go with Jeebus, the correct term would be Joshua. Like you wouldn't even if you wanted to go that route, you wouldn't call him Jeebus, you would call him Joshua. If you wanted to go that route, because he had the same name as Joshua the deliverer in the book of Judges. And when you go that route to Joshua, then you have to go to that name in the Hebrew, which is Yahweh. That's how you find out who our Lord Savior name is.
Right.
So even with that, they're lost with that term. They keep calling him Jeebus. Even that's totally all from the English way of saying his name. If you wanted to go that route. Go ahead, bro.
Let me get
Because when you go to some of these old Bibles, you won't even see Jeebus. You see Iesus. It'll have the I there because the J wasn't created yet. You have the IESOS. I think it's US. They say Iesus. You know. So explain that.
Somebody said that go back to Zeus or something.
No, it goes back to Serapis Christus.
Yeah,
That deity from Rome. That's the whole ideology of Jeebus goes back to Serapis Christus. You know, it was reincarnated during the Renaissance era. You know. Go ahead.
This is Romans 11 and 24. It says, "For if thou were cut out of the olive tree, which is wild by nature, and were grafted contrary to nature into a good olive tree, how much more shall these, which be the natural branches, be grafted into their own olive tree? For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part is."
Wait a minute, oh no, that's a good. Get that Jeremiah first, because that's a good one. That's a good one, because I want to finish up Jeremiah chapter 11. Verse 16, where it speaks about Israel.
Yahweh called thy name a green olive tree, fair and of goodly fruit. With the noise of a great tumult, he hath kindled fire upon it, and the branches of it are broken.
There you go. He's talking to Israel right there in Jeremiah. The Lord have called you a good olive tree, and the branches are broken. That's the 2/3. Vocab. Man, Christianity be losing. And it ain't, and it's not even because we're like some fucking top guys in the script. It's just the truth. Yeah, it's just the truth. And the script said, well, you can't do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Every time y'all come up against us, more dudes see truth, more dudes wake up. We gain more knowledge. We refresh on breakdowns we need refreshing on. Y'all ain't doing nothing but helping us, man. And vocab, you an agent. John Mike Reason. John Mike Reason, that's your name.
For precept must be upon precept.
Line upon line. Here they're little. He call it Hebrew Israelite hopscotch. That's how you, well, we gonna hopscotch to the kingdom, bitch. We gonna hopscotch all the way to the kingdom, motherfucker. Because it say precept upon precept, man. And in Ezra 4, it says when they were building the temple, right, during the time of the Medo-Persian Empire, the heathens weren't allowed to help, so they hired counselors to frustrate their purpose. Vocab is nothing but a hired counselor to frustrate our purpose. He said it.
A nigga came to me and offered me a Jesuit.
And he worked for the FBI as well.
Yeah, he's a hired counselor. Why? Because we're building the temple. We're lively stones, and this nigga's frustrating the purpose. But really, he ain't frustrated. It ain't on.
He's further than the Pope.
Because you know what happened during that time? The temple got rebuilt.
That's right. Yeah.
The walls of Jerusalem got rebuilt.
Yeah.
They didn't stop shit.
Nope.
It was a little tedious having to deal with
Daddy, he coming every day, fucking with us.
it's a little, but at the end of the day, that temple got built. So the kingdom of heaven gonna come regardless, man. Because we still gonna labor. What will we be those men?
Kingdom of heaven is within you.
Ooh,
That's good.
ooh, and that's a cheat code. You know how you put cheat codes in the game? You used to play Grand Theft Auto, put the cheat codes.
Yeah.
You know? Limited bullets, bitch.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother. That's the cheat code. You can't see the. Hey, the scripture said the kingdom come without observation. You see, it's already here. You see it. You seen it being built right before your eyes. That's why the scripture say that the New Jerusalem should come down, being adorned as a bride. Because that woman we read in Ezekiel the 16th chapter, she gonna get beamed up, right? Decked out again, and she gonna come down and reign. Because it begins with the sons, man. We are the kingdom. You looking at the kingdom, and it ain't supposed to look lavish right now. It's supposed to look at something like, what is this? That's the glory of it. When you watching a movie, you root for the underdog.
I can't wait till he fucking get back at this nigga.
You know, he's been downtrodden the whole movie, fighting through obstacles. That's us. You know, we look low, we ain't got shit. You know, I've been saying all night how we ain't got no power. It's supposed to be like that because we are going to get it all and more than what the eye can see, more than what the ear can hear. You know, there's no bounds when it comes to the Most High. We don't even know an inkling of what He's created, man. What He's going to reveal to us, man. And we're going to inherit it all. And we're going to live for eternity. Immortality. No sicknesses, man. No more death, no more diseases. No more violence amongst our nation. You know, the only violence that's going to occur is us against the other nations. You know? It's going to be beautiful. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 17. For Yahweh of hosts that planted thee has pronounced evil against thee for the evil of the house of Israel and of the house of Judah.
That's the branches. That's the branches right there. Which shows us Paul had those scrolls to understand what the branches were. He got taught that. You know, the apostles were taught properly. So they could teach properly. But see, that's the mystery of the Gentiles. And then you got to stop thinking the word Gentile does not mean just a heathen. That's not what it means. You know, it tells you when you go into it, it means a specific race of people. You know, Christianity has taught you a Gentile means another nation outside of Israel. That's not what the term Gentile actually means. It can be used for a heathen nation. It can be used for Israelite. It's just like we was going into. It's just a generic term. That's all it is. It's not a nationality. Christianity has taken Gentile as they made it a nationality. Gentile is not a nationality. It's a generic term. Who is this Gentile that we're reading about? What's his name? What's his nationality? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, baby. They made Gentile fucking nationality. That's a video. I got to listen to that. Shit. I just got an epiphany. Go ahead, bro.
For the evil of the house of Israel and of the house of Judah, which they have done against themselves to provoke me to anger and offering incense unto Baal. The Lord has given me knowledge of it, and I know it. And that's the mystery. You know?
Go.
That's the mystery.
So the brother got in Romans now, huh? Bringing out Romans.
Romans 11:24 says, for if thou were cut out of the olive tree which is wild by nature, and were grafted contrary to nature into a good olive tree, how much more shall these, which be the natural branches, be grafted into their own olive tree? For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery.
It's a mystery, see? And see, the Lord, we was going into that the other day. The Lord put stuff like that in the scriptures for stumbling blocks to people. You know? For, like we said in the live sit down, for it is given to us to know the mysteries, it is not given unto them.
If thou can tell.
Demons, man, the cops going into slavery too. You know, because it's frustrating when you're trying to get somebody to understand a mystery, but they just can't get it. But you gotta step back and okay, the Lord said they ain't for it. They ain't gonna get it. It's a mystery.
Yeah, because who was it? Peter that said, "Why thou speaking parables?" You know, and the Lord told him right there, "Hey man, it's not for everybody to get this, man. You gotta understand that." That's why you see us out here on the highways and hedges doing what we do every week, week in and week out. You know, and you see the other people that walk by and look at us like we're retarded. You know, because they can't get what we've received. You know,
Faith come. Scripture says what? Roughly paraphrase. It's like the scripture says what? Roughly paraphrase. It says what? Faith coming by hearing, and hearing of the word. And, you know.
And when we say hearing, we don't mean actually hearing words. That's not. It's not. Intelligence and understanding everything.
Yeah, the scripture say, "Well, all that getting, get understanding."
There we go.
Because you can sit bugged out in the church. You go to Monday service, Tuesday service, night service.
My Lord, my Lord.
You getting a whole bunch of shit, but you ain't getting understanding. You done got that the pastor done had a vacate. He had a revelation. Y'all, when I went to Costa Rica, the Lord worked a wonder. I'm gonna tell y'all about it today. But before we get into it, we gonna play song. And then 2 hours of just music. Yeah.
And Big Mama doing more.
Before brought it out, that movie, which I had seen that movie when I was younger. The Soul Brothers, the church scene, and they had James Brown in it, and the women was doing flips and shit. You know, that's what them churches do. You getting a lot, but you ain't getting no understanding, man. You know,
So that's how you know it's all a mockery in Christianity.
yeah, it's a joke.
You ever seen Vampire in Brooklyn?
Yeah, Eddie Murphy.
He got the whole congregation saying, "Evil is good." As long as he's jumping up, dancing, he jumping over people, leapfrogging over people.
Yeah. They show you that in Don't Be a Menace in South Central. I drink. Grandma in the church doing backflips.
Yeah. But you actually see that on YouTube now.
Yeah, it's
People
good.
bugging out.
Yeah.
Spinning on the head, they break dancing.
They making funny videos, you know, like a street fighter, like you in the past, Tiger, Tiger. You know, they dropping down the floor.
Yeah, that shit shameful,
That's how
man.
sad it is.
That shit shameful, man. At least in these churches, he gets understanding. More understanding than Jake. He gets some type of, because he might understand more than Jake, man.
Yes.
Well, a lot of time when we the most intellectual debates that we've had have come from Edomites. They don't, of course, they don't have the 100% truth, but they have. They be like, they know the characters.
They know Babylon.
the history.
They know Babylon. They know about the Bucket of
They
Beach.
know all the time. Hey, the young boy that was up with his father not too long ago.
I don't even think that was his father though.
Yeah, I'm saying the same
But you
thing.
know, that's me in the spirit.
Right.
But Esau even knows that he's an Edomite.
Okay.
But Jake has a hard problem accepting that.
Yeah, because he got that one video, because the Edomite scholars, there's that one video where he was like, Paul wasn't writing to Romans. He wasn't writing to, he was like, no, he was only to Israel. He was going
And
on.
you know why they were so adamant about that? Because they think that they the chosen.
Nah, that's right.
That's the only reason they broke them down like that, because what's shown to the world is that white people are Israelites. That's the only reason those biblical scholars, that's Edomites, to go into it. Because if they knew we was Israelites, they wouldn't bring it up like that. Yeah, Paul was only talking to the Israelites.
Yeah, the only way
Niggas are Hamites.
the only way they would know that we
Niggas
are,
are Hamites.
because it's a spiritual thing. If they really knew that, we would have, that got to be a foreigner. You know, that would have to be
They teach that we're Ham. A lot of those top biblical scholars, like that video that you're talking about, because I've seen it. Those type of guys, they teach that we're from the stock of Ham. Black people come from Ham. They're cursed with dark skin. In the Book of Mormon and shit. You know, that's the only reason they go into it right there. We're the seed of Israel. He only chose us. No niggers. You know? That's basically what he's saying. You know? With all that get understanding. You know, and when you get understanding, it hurts for some, but it's good news for others. It's gospel to the others, man.
But if you read the book of Acts, it says, you know, that the Christians were called
Niger and Antioch. Yeah.
It says in the scriptures.
Yeah, we call Niger.
They skipped
Look it
that.
up.
Wait, you gotta get hit.
Yeah. You know? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, continuing on. For I will not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, least ye should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness is part, and part is happened to Yasha'Allah until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. And so all Israel shall be saved.
Paul clearly, he just breaks it down for it's clear as day. So that all, to the fullness comes in, makes it whole, so that all Israel, because it's only part right now. So we're waiting for the fullness to come in, so that all Israel, we wait for the Edomites, we wait for the Moabites, we wait for the Ammonites. You know what I'm saying?
According to the flesh, who are what? Israelites.
To whom pertaineth the adoption, the
To bring
covenant.
back adoption.
Matter of
What?
fact,
Bring
brother,
back.
bring that up. We got to run that.
Adoption. What? To what? Bring back.
Yeah, to be redeemed.
Yeah.
Because the curse was what? No man shall buy you. No man shall redeem you. Martin Luther King couldn't redeem us. Malcolm X couldn't redeem us. Harry True couldn't redeem us. You know, this, whatever.
Fred Hampton.
Civil rights movement. Fred Hampton couldn't redeem us. Nat Turner couldn't redeem us. Couldn't redeem himself once they got a hold of him. You know? Go ahead, please.
The book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse.
Blackfoot. Chief Blackfoot could redeem Gad. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Romans 9 and 1.
Jacob Herbert.
Yeah.
Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, more of his going. You know? I had a dream. Pow!
Tupac.
Now you sleep. Yeah,
Tupac.
Tupac could redeem.
Tupac
Tupac
was
could
God,
redeem
yo.
you niggas, man. Tupac could redeem you niggas.
Dr. Umar Johnson. Send him my what? Those donations. Marcus Garvey Academy.
Malachi York will perverted ass. You know, because Jake was really thinking he was the guy.
Jay-Z won't redeem you niggas.
Easy.
Oh, Jay-Z, he got to deal with the NFL. We's free. You heard the 444 album? We's free.
They like
Go ahead, yo. Go ahead.
Romans
Bro,
9
you
and
would have
1.
thought the 444. You would have thought the 444 album was a ticket to the kingdom. The way Jake was talking about that shit.
Hey,
Yo, he was spending dollars, bro. Good, bro. We gotta
we gotta
invest.
own ours. We gotta own ours. Nah, for real, because that was the album that made niggas start wanting to look into owning land, owning property.
man.
And it's all Esau, because now we talk about crypto. You know what I mean? that was the gear, because he's the God MC. Remember that Jay-Z's considered the God. His name is J-Hope. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it's like I said, man. Our people want to go to find basically any alternative except coming back to the Heavenly Father.
That's right.
That's our Lord.
That's right.
God,
That's
You
your
know what I
2/3
mean?
for you.
Tell him you the son of the Most High, you of Israel. Nigga, I'm a nigga. I'm from Brooklyn.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
anything
saying?
else?
This
I'm
is my
from-
block.
I'm from Freeport Project. You know, wherever you know.
I'm on the corner of Esau and
It's my block.
yeah. Sorry.
Romans 9 and 1. I say the truth in Yahweh Shai. I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from the Hamashiach, for my brethren,
All people.
my brethren,
All people.
my kinsmen, according to the flesh,
To the spirit.
to the flesh.
To the spirit.
No, the flesh
Spiritual Israelites.
don't exist.
That's when we need spiritual.
Yeah, right.
Like I said, yeah, concerning that, the scripture.
Go ahead, bro.
Anything else they know.
Who are Israelites,
Moabites.
Israelites,
Edomites.
Israelites,
Go ahead.
to whom pertaineth the adoption
We being adopted back, redeemed back, like you said. Go ahead.
and the glory
Hey, we gonna get the kingdom. We gonna get them new bodies. We gonna get immortality. Go ahead.
and the covenants.
We gonna get the old covenant. We gonna get the new covenant. Any other covenant the Lord got promised us that deals with us getting the glory, the honor. Right? Go ahead.
and the giving of the law,
These holy commandments, so we can get right under them. So we can teach you heathens. Right? Go ahead.
and the service of the Most High.
We're the servants. And we out here teaching. We're servants. Go ahead.
And the promises, whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, the Messiah came.
That's
What can you say after that?
That's
yo?
a slang.
Messiah came for a certain stock of the flesh of Israel, man. You can't go. How do you get around
And that's
that?
why
yo?
Matthew, the first chapter, names those fathers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mamba out.
They named they named those fathers that he came in instead of. He's the seed of David. He was Solomon, but that's way too heavy. We going way too far from the Christian man. Reincarnation totally throw y'all off. But that makes perfect sense. You know, the spirits come back. No, they don't just die and just sit up there and now they just floating on clouds for. Here it is. Let's say let's play the game, a hypothetical game. Let's say the Lord created a spirit that you don't reincarnate. You're born, you 1 year old, you get hit in a car crash. Now you just up in heaven for the rest of the world. You didn't live on this beautiful earth you created for you. Or does it make more sense that you come back, you go through trials and tribulations, you go through journeys, right? You get judged, you pile up your spiritual bank account if you're on the righteous side, right? And that's why we're going to finish off in that second Ezra, the 7th chapter, because that's what it all was about, the whole reincarnation process. For us to get back to Eden. Because remember, we were never supposed to die in the first place. We've been reincarnated, learning over and over again. And we're going to have the full knowledge of everything we went through in the kingdom. We're going to have the full understanding of everything we endured and went through in the kingdom.
And like I said, these Christians don't even all agree with each other, man. You know?
Different
Yeah,
doctrines.
different dominations. How can you have a 7-day Adventist and you got Jehovah's Witness and you got agnostic and all that? Come on.
Presbyterian.
You know?
You got a whole bunch of Edomites that created all them denominations. All you gotta do is Google it. They'll tell you it started tomorrow. It started 7 days ago.
You got Catholic.
We started back.
Catholic.
And what does Catholicism mean? Universal. It's for everybody. You're like, that's not what this book is about, man.
So like I said, it's Christians and the rest of them, they don't agree with each other, man. You know, man. But y'all, again, but y'all supposed to believe in the same power.
Yep. Let's go back to 2 Ezra 7 chapter.
I was going to say something to correct what I said. You could be a spiritual Israelite if you're of the seed of Israel, you know.
Yeah,
but you know, the heathen, no.
A spiritual Israelite is the brother that's in the truth and actually adhering to the law, statute, and commandments. Now, the non-spiritual Israelites, they're still physically Israelites by their stock, but they're Gentiles. They're into the world. They're into other beliefs.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah, well, matter of fact, let's get the scripture to get Romans chapter 7, verse 14. Let's get the scripture to prove what brothers just said. Romans 7 and 14.
I got it right here.
Go ahead.
Okay. This is Romans 7 and 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For that which I do, that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that do I not.
Yeah, I mean that's the point I wanted. The law is spiritual, but we are carnal. Right. We in the flesh, but the law was given to us. The law was only given to the Israelites. So if you're going to be a spiritual Israelite, you come under the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai, because that's what makes you a spiritual Israelite. It's the faith in the ways, in the laws of Yahweh Shema Shai. That makes you a spiritual Israelite, but you still have to be, flesh.
Yeah, we just brought
I
out
just wanted to clear that out.
the difference between the olive branch and the wild olive branch. That's it right there, you know?
Yep. All right, so going back to the book of 2nd Esdras. The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 7, verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and
hey, what's those good things? Our heart's desires. Whatever we want, whatever we can think of and want. It's staring us across that broad, narrow path. Like, oh man, I can see it. But it's dangerous as hell to go there.
We just read it in the book of Romans, chapter 9.
Yep. So you standing on the edge looking, you looking at the brothers beside you. You gonna go dip your foot in. Oh shit! Hey. You know what I'm saying? Fuck. You know, but you looking at everything that's on the other side, like, damn, that's true. Shit. You get over there, we gonna be fucking living. You know. Then you look at what's in front of you, though. You like, oh fuck. So it requires faith to go up and go take that. You know. Then you start seeing the one brother. He's fuck it. I'm going. Then they do this thing like shit. I'm follow this brother. He about halfway there. I'm gonna follow him. You know. And then it says these brothers keep going.
That's why the walk on
Started with our apostle.
Yeah. He was so, come to me, and he was gonna come, but he was so scared because of what we know in this world. You know, we know that hey, we can't walk on water. But he said, come, have faith. And he had faith at first, but then he got distracted by the trials around him. Right?
Yeah, he was walking in the water. He was walking in the water, but he said, "Oh shit, I'm in the water."
How was I looking like?
He was strolling. He was strolling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was strolling. But see, the point of it was he had his eye on Yahweh Shai.
See, that's right. There we go.
As soon as he took his eye off, oh shit, I'm in the water. Now you are.
That's scary.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's scary.
But if he would have
James.
if his eyes would have stayed on the Lord, he would have been comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a beautiful similitude, though, because that's what we're about to encounter.
Right.
You know, all that turbulence going on around us, we have to keep an eye on the prize.
Man. Right. What's the prize?
Yahweh Shai, the kingdom.
Right. The kingdom.
Comfort by Yahweh Shai.
The comfort.
If we get caught, we get so much shit thrown at us, man. In this world, man.
But if you take time to be engulfed in it, you're gonna fall.
That's right.
You're gonna fall.
That's right.
If you stop and get engulfed into it, now you take your eye off
your
treading
water.
Now you drowning.
Help!
Yeah.
But whatever you do, don't take your hand off that plow.
Go ahead, bro.
Right.
Calm.
And don't look back.
Don't look back. That's right, bro.
You know?
A lot of fellows had.
Verse 8. The entrance thereof is narrow and set in a dangerous place to fall. Like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left hand a deep water, and one only path between of them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be but one man go there at once. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance?
Yeah. You know, I did a video a while back called Snow White and Wizard of Oz has how it represents us being a woman, getting back to the kingdom, getting back to our Lord. Because when you go into Wizard of Oz, she ran into what's his name? What's he doing? He had a heart.
On the line.
He needed courage. He needed faith. You know, I could do this and I could do that if I only had a heart. You know?
Right.
And then the tin man, he needed oil. He needed that truth. You know what I'm saying?
Oil.
Yeah. You know?
And Ezra, the one.
Yeah. I did a video.
I ain't never peeped that.
Yeah, go on our pages. I did a whole video.
Yeah?
And even on the port, it's heavy. Even on the part when they about to get to the Emerald City, which the Emerald City represents the kingdom, because our Lord sits on the Emerald throne, they meet a poppy field. But the woman door falls to the sleep.
Yeah.
So she's out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she even has the red shoes,
Yeah.
which represents the blood of Yahweh. She clicks her heels again. I did a whole breakdown of all that.
And we go to the eyes, but he's on down to go.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I did a whole video on it.
Oh,
It's
I
called
gotta
the
check that
Snow
out.
White. It's called the Snow White and the Wizard of
That's
Oz.
great.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
Yeah, let's do it.
Verse 9. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance?
And we don't want it easy nowhere, man. Do you really want to get it easy? Or do you want to get it and be like, yo, we went through this to get it. We persevered, we overcame.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We was men by our shit. We overcame death. Then you can wear your crown like, yeah.
Yeah, because
You sit on the throne like, I wish a motherfucker would. Let me show you what I went through.
the gratification is way better when you earn.
Yeah.
You work hard for whatever prize you work for. You know, when you just giving something without working for it, it's disposable. You know, you don't care. Like if you're spoiled, say a little. Say you got a little kid that's spoiled and he's just used to his parents just giving him everything. He's not gonna grab hold of it and cherish it.
He's not going to respect it. either.
He's gonna toss it. Oh, I'll play with it now. I got another one coming. You know, but when you work hard for something and you receive that blessing or receive whatever it is that you work hard for, you cherish it and you hold on to it. You know what I did to earn this, to have this. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
And that's why you gotta give some credit to these people that made it in the music world and the sports world, because they, even though they sold their souls, they did work to get to where they was at. A lot of them, you know what I'm saying? They was in the studio putting in hours. They was in the gym putting in hours. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these basketball players, we grew up with a lot of them. They made it to college, went to college.
It's hard, like I said.
Had to be strict regulations in the dorm and all. They went through a lot of shit.
You have to be special.
And then they finally got their consolation. They got some praise and glory in their captivity. They still slaves, but they got some praise and fame in their captivity.
Yeah, I don't know if it was you that said it, but I think it was you that. You know, them people that work hard in sports and all that, they wasn't living it up, partying and having girls at the time because they too busy going hard for their craft. You know, they got their women on the back end. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So and that's that spiritually, flip it to us.
Shit, I was looking at one of Drake's old mix. That was some old shit. I was like, damn, ain't nobody gave a fuck about him then.
Right.
He had the red face, low cut. I was listening to the music. The music sounded totally different. You know what I'm saying? It sounded like some fucking soul, underground rap shit. I was like, nobody was checking for this dude. Now he's the top musician in the world. But nobody gave a fuck. Nobody gave a fuck during that point. But that shows you, even on a corner level, you gotta go to that point. You know?
You're right.
Even on the corner level, you gotta go to that. So how much more on this truth? So if they can do it for their wicked portion, we should be able to do what we need to do to get our crime.
Everything can be an example for us. You just gotta have if you have eyes to see, ears to hear. You gotta, you know.
Because we not selling our soul. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, we not caving in. So we gonna fight for a righteous portion, which is way greater than a wicked portion, than the devil's bread portion. I don't want a million Lamborghinis, a million rapes, a million Maybachs. I don't want a mansion that I needed security, still be scared to go places. No, I want immortality. I want spiritual power. I want to never fear again. I want to have whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I want to be able to travel at the whim of a, you know.
What did he say? I get the trip with my book a long star. Well, you know,
Yeah, right. All that money, you still scared.
you got this big ass house, but you gotta have a mat. You gotta have a Uzi with you. You know what I mean? You gotta stay up all night out.
Pitbull, Rockwaller.
Yeah. Rottweiler's by the door.
I mean, like I said, for example, look at something you added up. What you say, banning back surgery? Yeah, like I said, it may be good for a moment, again, please your flesh, but then after a while, you're tired.
Yeah, because I tell y'all all the time, yo, when I'm out there on the routes, and I'm out there about to eat my name, sometimes I get caught slipping. I marvel at these cribs, yo. It's so beautiful, but then I gotta remember, man, what we got, I don't want to ride this side coming to us, man. Fuck this shit, you know?
Yeah, you look at some of these celebrities, Floyd Mayweather, his daughter with a nigga. Got a baby by a nigga that got babies by all different types of women. You know, but he ain't even a righteous man. He's just a
Black
nigga.
lightning,
You know? You look at Johnny Depp. That Jay Johnny Depp, he in court right now.
because the girl, yeah.
With his woman, and she's a straight, she's like, she came from the pits of heaven. Like, she recorded everything of their life. And she was like, she was the abuser of this nigga.
Yeah.
Like, she would beat this nigga.
And dared him to go to court.
But he's being shown as the aggressor. When she was abusing him. But the courts, she's so fucking demonic that the trial is revealing, like, damn, bitch. Yeah, we trying to make him seem like the bad guy, but goddamn, you so goddamn. Even on the tape, she like, I wasn't punching you, I was only hitting you. You know, like she is being shown in the trial that she's the straight demonic. But the point I'm bringing this up is even these celebrities, they catch him hell. You know what I'm saying? So in the kingdom, you know, we ain't gonna have to deal with that type of shit. So we gonna fight for what we wanna fight for.
Right?
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 10. And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even also is Israel's portion.
This is Israel's portion. This is how Israel gets the kingdom. They got to go through the straight and narrow, the dangerous path that's set before them. I don't give a fuck about the other kids. I don't give a fuck about the Moabites, Ammonites. I don't give a fuck about dealing with y'all. This is the path I created for y'all. This is why I created this whole story. That's what the Lord's saying. This is what the story is about. Keep reading, bro.
Because for their sakes I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. Then were the entrances of the world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail.
So this Adam fucked up, now everything is hell. So if a person want to ask, why was everything so fucked up on earth? They'll take it back to the garden. You followed after the serpent. This is what happens. Go ahead. Even to this day, you're falling after the serpent. And more death. Go ahead.
They are but a few and evil, full of perils, and very painful. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure.
Edom was chilling.
La 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 la.
You know? Go ahead.
and brought immortal fruits. If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them.
So if we don't take that faith and we don't have faith to go down that path, we ain't going to inherit the kingdom.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Now therefore, why disquieteth thou thyself, seeing thou art but a corruptible man?
And even like how you see like you'll see like some decent looking women walking by themselves. Now it's okay for them to do that now, but they have been led into a trap because when all hell breaks loose, they've been taught they can live by themselves. They can have an apartment, one bedroom by themselves. They can go and work by themselves. But when society collapses, what the fuck are they gonna do? You've been taught you can leave home and just live by yourself. Decent looking woman should be walking by themselves like that. You better, ask the women in Ukraine how it's going down right now, man. They raping and killing the women out there. They said one woman, the parents found her all beat up, shot up, and then they did an examination on her body. She was raped by the Russian soldiers.
Nah, that's good, man. That's them Nazis ass. No, they Nazis. No.
No, they are.
Like I said, hey, they even said, like I said, that Jake they want to join. Like I said, man, they can call him the N-word.
Yeah, that was
I
good
mean, prime example, like I said, look how they treat Jake. We're talking about those Nigerians, man. They're letting the full racism up. Like I said, when it comes to it, man. Like I said, Jake a little wild.
That's coming to America.
Read verse 15 again. Now therefore, why disquieteth thyself, seeing thou art but a corruptible man? And why art thou moved, whereas thou art but mortal? Why hast thou not considered in thy minds this things that is to come, rather than that which is present?
Yeah, so the Lord is like, look, why are you so concerned with what's in front of you instead of what's to come? This is temporal. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you what's to come is everlasting. But you so immersed in the now, that it's overcoming you instead of you overcoming it to get to the future. Go ahead, bro.
Then answered I and
That's
said,
why it's good for brothers when you watch it. If you take time out to watch movies and shows, watch shit about people that got to overcome things. Because it puts you in that right spirit, man. Go ahead, bro.
Then answered I and said, O Lord, that bearest rule, thou hast ordained in the law that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the ungodly should perish. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things, and hope for why. For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the why.
Yeah, because everybody is going through hell. You know what I'm saying? Except for basically the elites of the society, the people that should run this world. Everybody else that happens to them is catching hell. But only the righteous is going to inherit the straight. Because what did we read? That's Israel's portion. It ain't for everybody. So I don't give a fuck if an Edomite comes to me, well, I pay bills too. I'm running. Hey, that ain't your portion. Canaan ain't your portion.
That's what I'm trying to know.
Yep.
About to be a 3-time.
That's right. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about you.
Oh, I hate you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
And he said unto me,
So y'all better enjoy y'all last drops of alcohol, getting drunk, last drops of food. Because you on my plantation, you ain't gonna know what alcohol tastes like. You ain't gonna know what that sweet grapevine tastes like. You ain't gonna have no type of pleasure. So you better enjoy this folly while you can. Because for a whole 1,000 years, the Edomites will have no pleasure.
Multiply, it is working for this world.
You only getting rest on the Sabbath, And that you ain't, but no pleasure though. That's right. And you gonna have sex with who I tell you to have sex with. You gonna have sex with Bufta and Helga.
And Roselle.
You know what I'm saying? None of the bags. You got Helgas and
The
Buftas.
mama from the train.
Yeah.
That's who you rock.
Your wife will not look beautiful.
At all.
What they say on 300? What he said when he took his wife? He said, "This will not be pleasurable or something." You know what I mean? You're gonna hate the woman.
You can have a
You
set
will not
time.
enjoy this. That's what it was.
You can have a set time when you wear that chastity belt. You're only gonna wear it for a certain amount of time throughout.
Just imagine if we
In my kingdom.
get swords like that, like pleasant.
Go ahead,
Verse 19, and he said unto me, there is no judges above the Most High, and none that has understanding above the highest.
But they're all judges. There just ain't no judges above the Most High. They're all people that have understanding. There's just nobody that has understanding more than the Most High. Them Christians that say people can't judge.
That's right.
Go ahead, brother.
For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of the Most High that is set before them.
There you go. That's why you die. That's why you get sick. That's why this place is hell. Because you despise the ways of Yahweh Shah. And that's why it's been here. Go ahead, brother.
For the Most High has given straight commandment to such as came, Salah. What they should do to live even as I came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment.
So he gave us what we should do to avoid punishment. Don't touch that hot stove. Hey, we've been able to do this work and not get touched. You know, the Lord been looking out, providing for brothers, giving them daily bread. Hey, that's the mercy of the Lord. Why? Because we're doing the necessary things to avoid punishment from falling. Hell nah, I ain't get my ass whooped. Go ahead, bro.
That's what I can say in these situations. You like, you think it's worth it? It's not worth it.
Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him, and imagined vain things.
I'm gonna set up this company over here as a vain thing. Get my business pumping. I'm gonna finish school in the next 6 years. That's a vain thing. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, brother.
And deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not, and knew not his ways. But his laws have they despised, and denied his covenants.
Keep reading.
So, what is y'all,
In his statutes have they not been faithful, and have performed his works,
I'm just wondering.
and not have performed his works.
Y'all not gonna tell me?
And therefore, Ezra,
Hold on.
I didn't say I was a Christian. I
We
said,
Hebrew Israelites.
so y'all don't like Jesus? I'm just asking. I'm trying to get educated.
Well, we're gonna finish reading this passage. If we're gonna finish reading this passage,
I didn't know
if
that.
you really want to know, then stay and listen to this passage. Go back to where we was at.
But I'm just being.
So why the hell you asking?
Hey, bro, hold his feet, bro. Hold his feet.
Interested at first.
All right, so go have a nice day then. Have a nice day then. You being rude. You being rude while somebody's talking.
So
Welcome
I'm
on,
trying.
hold
Y'all
your
now
feet.
trying to
Welcome
get
on.
I'm talking to you as a
Welcome
man.
on.
I ain't even seen it.
Not all I
Welcome on.
said was, you see, I'm still
Hey,
talking.
y'all can have a nice day. We Hebrew Israelites.
I know.
Hey, bro.
This shit, sorry, my ear says.
Yeah, hey, we Hebrew Israelites. If you want to know more,
I said I was interested. I talked nice and everything.
okay. If you want to know
I think
more,
somebody trying to be funny. I was interested in y'all shit, man. Like, I just think I'm just so.
so you don't want to know, so you don't want to know more.
We asked you earlier. You didn't want to tell us.
Okay, but you still on.
I just think we could all be.
You still on that though. I'm trying to talk to you. You still on
I
that.
know you see it a little bit clear now. Like,
All right, we're gonna keep reading.
y'all
Go
think
back
I'm
where we
so
was at.
Yeah, y'all is. Y'all dumb as fuck.
Go ahead.
forward.
Come on.
verse 20.
I hope
Go-
that night up your roadhouse.
Go back up to where we was.
And therefore,
Go back up to where we was at.
and therefore, verse 24. But his laws have they despised, and denied his covenants.
Brothers, we just gotta hold our peace. As long as they're not getting cornered with us, don't engage with them like
That
that.
was a demon just
Because that ain't nothing gonna come from it. As long as they're not putting their hands on brothers, they can say whatever they want to say. They ain't no yelling at people for no reason. Go ahead.
In his statutes they have not been faithful, and not performed his works.
That's those niggas that was just up here. We was just reading about, you know. Before we get mad at them for it, they niggas. They don't know shit. Just do what they want to conduct themselves in that manner. You know, if you really want to know, stay up there and listen. If you don't, go up the street. You know? As long as they're not putting their hands on brothers, go up and have a nice night. You gotta engage them with that folly, man. These are niggas. Niggas are gonna be prideful, you know, and they're gonna be wicked. Go ahead, bro. That nigga can't fight, man. His pants hanging off his ass. He don't know no blocking techniques. He don't know no kicking techniques. He don't know no defensive techniques. He's just a nigga that smoke blunts and talk shit. You know?
We're jacking hard because it's female right there. That's all.
If they don't, either they want to know or they don't. Have a nice night. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 25. And therefore, Esdras, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are the full things. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told thee shall come to pass.
And now the reason why, see, this is why I hate niggas. And I can't wait till the Lord. I want the Lord to kill more of you niggas.
Right. Because
you interrupted the spirit, and now I'm totally off what we was on. The reason why I ignored him is because the bitch opened her mouth first. If he should have inquired.
Yep.
And then you just yell out, interrupted while we reading. That's why I ignored him. But eventually I was like, okay, he really is. You know? If you wanna know more, wait until the brother finish reading. And this is why we don't give a fuck about niggas getting shot. I don't give a fuck a nigga shot 20 times in the streets. Fuck these niggas, man.
Yeah.
Cause they wicked.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
Read in verse 26 again. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told thee shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear, and she.
Fuck, I'ma roll around with a nigga for this nigga. He'll fight you and still be a nigga the next day. He still ain't got shit. You still gonna be dead. What do you have the next day? You I'm finna roll around with you. Get the fuck out of here. You don't know shit. You ain't got shit. Just to appease your pride, get your ass up the goddamn street, man. Go ahead, brother.
And she coming forth shall be seen that now is withdrawn from the earth. And whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evils shall see my wonders.
And you just wait till the Lord. That's why I hate niggas, man. He doesn't say in the second chapter. We're going to talk about niggas. That was the first chapter. We would drop that, bro. They didn't want the whole spirit. This is why niggas got to be destroyed. See, the Edomites just walk. The Edomites might give you a bad look and walk up the street. But niggas gotta stop and engage with some carnal shit, man.
Yeah. I mean, I like them too, but I hate the way they grow.
Hate niggas, man.
Yeah, I think it's the second chapter. Many people shall go and say, come ye and let us go up to the mountain.
Oh no, that's the about the kingdom. I think it's the first chapter. Where it talks about woe to the rebellious.
Oh yeah, this is your first chapter. Yeah.
Oh, sinful nature, yeah, that's the first one. I can get it.
Keep these niggas, man.
This is the book of Isaiah 1:1, the vision of Isaiah, the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah and Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. The ox knoweth his owner, the ass, and the ass his master's crib. But Yasha'Allah do not know, my people do not consider.
Do you see how much pride they got on them?
But why you ain't answering me when I speak to you, bro?
Like we have to answer when you call, man. If you were sincere, you would just stop and listen. Fucking dirty ass, stinky ass black bitches, man. So loud and obnoxious.
What y'all about? Y'all don't like Jesus?
No, we don't like your ass. tattoo on the neck, tattoo all on the face. Ugly as hell. Black and marrow lips.
Yeah. Black. Ugh.
Go ahead, bro.
And my people do not consider a sinful nation.
We going to the club. You might die tonight. We going to the club. You might die tonight, bitch. I'm putting a curse on their ass too tonight. No, I don't like niggas like that. Put a salat where I am with them niggas. You know? Fuck them niggas, man. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord Yahweh. They have provoked the Holy One of Yasha'Allah unto anger. They are going away backward. Why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick.
The whole head is fucking sick. Why should they be stricken anymore? Just blow their ass up. Just blow them up. And that's why Jacob's trouble is coming for you niggas. You just wait until you see the fear the Lord is going to bring throughout this earth. I can't wait for you motherfuckers, your stomach to turn inside out. That's right. For you to start looking at that bitch's food. He going to be looking at her as food in that day.
Yeah.
And it don't take much. Niggas like that, they lose integrity. They don't have no integrity, so they'll murder each other over little things.
Yeah.
They do that now. You know what I'm saying? They'll get in an argument. She'll pull a knife out on you in the house. You know? I remember I was on the route one day and I heard a nigga bitch. She was on the phone. She was on the phone with her dude, and she was saying,
You don't know I ain't that type of bitch. You don't know the fuck I kill your ass. I'm like,
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that.
Listen. Cussing somebody out on the phone. You roll the window up. She started cussing her out. It's a free land. We're getting around your goddamn brothers up.
it's that one.
Yeah.
See? Through, man. Our people are fucking through. She started yelling at him.
Yeah. Because we didn't want to hear what she was saying.
God damn. That's a demon. Go ahead, man.
The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. From the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it. Woo. But wounds and bruises and putrefying sores.
You ain't see them sores on that motherfucker? You can see that. When Ezekiel saw them dry bones, he was like, what are those?
Yeah. Can they live?
Can they live? Hell no.
Nope.
No, dude. They gotta be put out. You know? Shit. God damn.
Sinews don't even want to get together.
I'm telling you, man. You can't breathe like that. You got destroyed. Go ahead, man.
They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour it.
And this is why a lot of Jakes are going to have shame in the kingdom. Because Jakes like that in the kingdom, they're going to see us in the state that we're in and see what we had to go through and see what they inherited. And like, we did that to them. To the governing body, we did that to them.
Right.
So you better believe every Feast of Tabernacles, she going to be coming up.
Right.
My Lord. This is for my family. She going to go to her table. He going to come up. His little Pee Wee Herman ass going to come up. Hello.
Yeah.
And he going to come into his head down. Because they going to know what they did to the prophets, man. Instead of giving us a cup of water, you gave us hell. The spirit was one way, and you totally deterred the whole spirit, man. Judgment for you for that, man. Because you disturbed the word of the Lord. Keep thy foot when I goes to the house of the Lord. Leave us the fuck alone. It's not the Lord keep judging niggas, man. We just out here trying to serve the Lord because we actually fear him. But you got time to fuck with us. If you gonna go to the club, just go to the club. You was better off not even fucking with us and going to commit your iniquity.
Just thinking.
You just fucked your whole shit up. And that's judgment on you. Was just more.
Laid out.
Just thinking.
Fucking niggas. Go ahead, bro.
And the daughter of Zion is left as a cot, and it is desolate and is overthrown by strangers. daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, as a lodge in the garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city.
Yeah, that's the point of that. Our whole city is overthrown by strangers now. You know? Do they care? Fuck no. All they care about is lighting up a blunt and putting on some nigga ass rap music to destroy their spirit even more. You know? That's all Jake does, man, 24/7. Listen to rap music. Go look at the Foley news and smoke a blunt and go work whatever job they work. Jake ain't doing shit, man. That's why the Lord told Edris, let the multitude perish which was born in vain. What the fuck are you people doing for the benefit of the earth? For the benefit of our nation? What are you doing to serve the Lord? So why are you here? But for judgment, man. That's why I tell them, man, do not cry for these Jakes. Don't feel no pity for them, because they wicked. They ain't right, man. We'll see headlines about a Jake getting shot up by the cops, doing woofle bad. Like, dang, that's fun. But you gotta understand, these niggas are wicked, man. It be niggas like that. They get shot up, and now the whole nation, R.I.P. this nigga. He was a good nigga. He was a good nigga. He came against the prophets, man. We ain't say nothing. We was just reading the scriptures, man. But because they feel convicted in their spirit, they want to say some shit.
What you have to do is read the sign.
They was on the upbeat and they just stopped. Oh, I'm gonna say something.
Yeah, we got all these signs. Like we got all these signs out here, but your nigga ass don't look at none of the signs. You just
What y'all know? I hate thee.
no, bitch. We hate you and that fucking weed you got in your head. Go ahead, bro. That's why they ask now. People been out here long enough to know what type of spirits those is, man. Just demonic nigga ass spirits, and we ain't dealing with that shit no more. Just wait for their judgment, man. Go ahead, bro.
This is Ezekiel 7. I'm starting top. Moreover, the word of Yahweh Shai came unto me, saying, also, thou son of man, thus saith the Lord power unto the land of Israel, the end is come upon the four corners of the earth. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send my anger upon thee, and I will judge thee according to thy ways, and I will recompense upon thee thine abominations. And my eyes shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thine abominations shall be in the midst of thee. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, that saith Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua power, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come. You know? So the Lord going jack 2/3 up, man. All you proud of me. This land of free, and this proud ass land, man, you soaked it up. And you bring it before the house of the Lord. You know?
The scoffers,
All of them, man.
your naysayers, your gainsayers, they're gonna get it.
You're gonna get it.
Yeah, go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and start at verse 42. We're about to wrap it up.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 7, and verse 42. And verse 42. And it reads, he answered me,
Got the dog in the driver, like on the wheel and shit. Making my way down.
Yeah, that's
walking fast, faces fast, and I'm all down. That shit is real, man. And you see both of their heads like
Yeah,
this.
that's exactly what I thought of.
God damn, we gotta get the fuck out of here, man.
I missed that one.
Damn,
I missed that one.
they having a ball, man. Emily and Rebecca having a ball.
This they having though, you know what I mean? You know? What's that song
Oh,
about Kanye
shit.
Jail? That's how I feel like we in jail.
They
man.
enjoying their Saturday night. God damn, they got the dog on front like that.
The dog probably catching hell too, you know.
You can't make this shit up, man. Go ahead, bro.
wow. The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 7 and verse 42. He answered me and said, this present life is not the end where much glory doth abide. Therefore,
Yeah, this life right here is not the end. This ain't it. But Jake thinks this is it. YOLO. You've been tricked, man. This ain't even the beginning.
Right.
Right? For Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning thereof. We ain't even entered into the beginning of life yet. You know? Go ahead, brother.
therefore, they prayed for the weak, but the day of doom shall be the end of this time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's when the end gonna come. More and more death and destruction and plagues and famine. Then we gonna know, oh yeah, we headed towards the end of this age. Go ahead,
Yeah,
brother.
right.
And the beginning of immortality for to
In
come.
the beginning. So when the day of doom come, we ain't gotta feel sad. We got, oh yeah, we almost there.
That's second Ezra 6 and 9.
Yeah. We almost towards immortality. Let's go.
Yep.
Godhood, kingship, rulership.
They don't know.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
Wherein corruption is past. The intemperance is at an end. Infidelity is cut off.
Yep.
Righteousness is grown, and the truth is sprung up.
Go ahead.
Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed.
Yeah, anybody gonna be able to say them niggas in the day of doom? Nope. Go ahead.
Nor oppress him that has gotten the victory.
Yeah, but they ain't gonna be able to oppress us. We gonna get the victory in Yahweh Shai. Lord
right.
willing, we overcome. You know, and it was beautiful that brother Mattathiah had that dream.
Yeah.
He said he had the spirit on him in that dream, which I pray all brothers had that type of spirit. He said he knew when they was bringing him through the camp that they was gonna put him to death because he was seeing what they was doing to everybody, torturing him. But he said he had the spirit on him that I'm gonna make these motherfuckers kill me. I'm gonna grab one of their guns and start shooting, and let them. You know what I'm saying? That brother had a real vivid dream. You know. Hey, we want that type of spirit on us, the spirit to overcome.
That's right.
Go ahead, brother.
Come on. Verse 45. Then, Salah, verse 46. I answered then and said, this is my first and last saying, that it had been better not to have it, Salakia, that it had been better not to give the earth unto Adam, or else when it was given him, I would have restrained him from sinning.
Yeah, Ezra said, look,
Yeah.
man, why did you give the earth to Adam if we had to go through all this? If you was going to give it to him, refrain him from falling after Eve. So we won't have to go through this and we can just get the kingdom, right? Which is valid in the flesh. You're like, damn, why the hell we can't just get the kingdom?
Right. With all this bullshit.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
For what is it to profit? For what profit is it for men now in this present time to live in heaviness, and after death to look for punishment? O thou Adam, what hast thou done?
So he got mad at Adam.
Goddamn, Adam.
But Adam had to come back and get it in order. Because the scriptures tell you the second Adam, which is Yahweh Shai, was the first Adam. So he had to, it was more than one reason why the Lord went up and got crucified. It wasn't just for us being adopted back. It was for his iniquities as Solomon and for what he did as Adam. Yeah. Yep. Go ahead, bro.
For though it was thou that sinned, thou art not falling alone, but we all that come of thee. For what is profit unto us, if there be promised us an immortal time, when we have done the works that bring death?
Yeah, what profit us if we know we're supposed to be immortals, but everything that we do brings death. We keep dying every time we incarnate. Go ahead, brother.
And that there is promised us an everlasting hope, whereas ourselves, being most wicked, are made vain, and that there are laid up for us dwellings of health and safety, whereas we have lived wickedly, and that the glory of the Most High is kept to defend them which have led a weary life, whereas we have walked in in the most wicked ways of all.
And some of us have, man. Some of us come from some wicked past. You know, out of some of the most treacherous places and done some of the most treacherous things. You know, Paul was putting the saints to death. And he was called into this work. You know, he was at the stoning of Stephen. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 53, and that there should be shown a paradise whose fruit endureth forever, wherein is security and medicine, since we shall not enter into it. For we have walked in unpleasant places, and that the faces of them which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars, whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer, for it was after death. Then answered he,
Yeah, Jake don't understand that. When you commit iniquity, you got to pay for that. But they always want you to pray for them. R.I.P. You know, come to little Nuke funeral. You know, pray for the family. You know,
God.
but you was committing wickedness your whole life. That's what led to that. You can blame it on the person that shot him. You can blame it on the disease he caught. But the reason is iniquity. Iniquity abounded. That's why we died. All right, go ahead.
Verse 57. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle, which man that be born upon earth shall fight.
This is the purpose of why we had to go through everything. This is why the Lord set it up this way. Go ahead.
That if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said.
Is he gonna let death overcome him? Is he gonna let the wiles of the devil overcome him? Go ahead.
But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say.
You can stop right there, you know. But if he overcomes, he gonna get the kingdom, the glory. So that's why the Lord had it play out the way it played out from the fall of Eden, so we can learn to overcome. That's a beautiful story the Lord has built, bro. You know. Brother don't have another point. We're gonna give all praise and glory to Yahweh. Come on, teach us the elder apostles, a great millstone, and shalom to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.
The waffle up a ball.
Waffle up a ball.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.